Hello, heroes and villains. Welcome to Multiverse. Hello, Shadow Lady.
Hello, Multi.
Just let me check. I'll let you. How was your week? I'll let you talk a bit while I finish setting things up on my end.
Oh, my week was interesting. Oh, yeah, your live has popped. I thought maybe your live wasn't there, but no, it's there. Um, I've been playing through the anniversary event. I've been having a look at the new changes the developers are making. I have opinions, uh, which you were already aware of.
That's
But
okay. You can share them again if you want.
I don't know. It just seems like DC is declining quite quickly, and it seems like the devs are 100% more interested in dollars than they are in providing a good game for us. I'm waiting to see what happens with the newest chapter, to be honest, but I'm a little sad. I'm a little sad, but I do enjoy the anniversary event, so that's a good bit of fun. Are we playing the anniversary at all today?
Absolutely.
Excellent. We've got Scrolls saying hi, guys, and YT King saying hello, hello. You know what's nice though? People over the last, so I opened the CR box, the supposed CR skip, a couple of days ago, but the video just went out yesterday. But a lot of people have said really lovely things because they said you look so sad in your video. And everyone's been really lovely saying hello, I'm so sorry that it made you sad. That's so nice. And a lot of people have reached out to me in game, which is lovely too. I didn't know so many people knew who I was. Nightcrawler says hi, hey everybody. Sorry, I can read. Hi guys, it's nice to see people here. A lot of people were here before you, Multi.
Yeah,
Are you
I started
prepared?
a bit later.
It's good though. It means that everyone knows what time to come here, even if they don't get a notification from YouTube, because YouTube is a little bit notorious for missing out on those.
That's the whole point of making it at the same time every week, so that even if
Yeah.
somehow we don't get you don't get notified, or even if somehow I forget to post it. Sometimes I won't necessarily post a message saying, "Hey guys, there's a live tomorrow or Friday." Even if you don't get a notification or warning or something, you'll know that we'll be here. So I guess we're good to go with the first event. So let's go for. Let's see if
I'm
we can
not in
just
your
see.
group, Multi.
Oh, did I forget to invite you?
You did, but you already have a full team. Don't kick anybody. I
Okay.
can still chat while you guys run whatever you're running.
Yeah, sorry, I somehow completely
I'll join
forgot
the
you.
next one. No, you're fine. That is so mean. Why did I say no, you're fine? I'm gonna be upset instead. I'm so hurt. And that way I can use it against you later, you know?
Sure. Well,
Mm.
maybe we'll play it again afterwards then. Oh, for those who didn't notice, we do have a new UI. Some people are not too happy about the blurry effect that the UI has. I've heard quite a lot
Yeah.
of rumors about that. Some people are saying it is because they're trying to combat artifact swap. So basically, the reason why when you go to your inventory, you don't really see the game well enough to be able to understand what's going on. Apparently, that's one of the reasons why they did that. I thought maybe they
Oh,
did that
wow.
because the old UI was notorious for having a bit of lag. So, and for
I
the
had no
events
idea
tab,
that was the reason.
supposedly. But and also for the events tab, so you can see here there's a progress throughout of 20. So basically every day you can move the progress bar a little further. We don't have the timer though. They've said they've added a silly timer like a 20-hour timer for some reason. So the annoying part is that you could sometimes start your morning. You're good to go. Your missions have reset and the freaking timer still did not expire just yet. So you have to wait an hour, 3 hours for the timer to expire if you want to your progress to count towards the progress for the event. So I don't know why they could not just make it match it with the daily reset. And that seems a bit annoying. So basically, you have the mission that resets at a certain time, and then the timer that will reset probably later. So that I thought it was really annoying, and I saw you even saw some people were a bit confused about that. So
It's confusing as well because unless you've actually played through a piece of the content to get one on that stack of 20, there's no timer there and there's nothing on the screen that tells you there's going to be a timer. So when I first played, I was like, oh, that's cool. I ran through all of the event, had a look back in there and went, hang on a second, how come there's only one? And then saw the timer afterwards and was like, oh, now I see. So they didn't even explain it as part of the information on the screen before the timer appears.
Yeah, they gave no real information. Also, you can see
Yeah.
there's a little glitch here. So I'm trying to cure for the Sentinel collapse. It asks me to choose a role, and one of the role it gives is it gives me damage and healer. I'm not a healer. I'm a controller. Also, something I mentioned in my video that wasn't quite accurate. I said that you have to play. Basically, here you have to play 3 daily missions. That is one of the things you can do to complete the challenge. All of these are supposed to be challenges. So you can decide to just play the Sentinel Collapse. That will count as a challenge. The same for the Speed Force Flux. The same for the Elite version. The 3 missions will count as a challenge. And there's also the weekly Metropolis Antimatter Invasion Zone. The weekly is the Beast of War and the Persian Merge. So yeah, you have to do one of those things in order to be able to count towards the challenge. But again, here you can see it asking me healer as a role. Let's not take any chances. Let's go to the good old on duty menu. And in the on duty menu, you have the same thing, but oh, not the wrong place.
I'm curious what that would do for me now. I'm gonna have a look at the event menu.
In the on duty menu, you have the same thing. You have the but you have the events tab. So let's go here and let's select
Oh, no,
the.
mine says tank. So yours is incorrect, but mine's fine.
Yes, mine was incorrect. Absolutely.
Mm.
It could be because I'm in a group. Maybe the group thing is messing it up somehow, and somehow I cannot. There we go. Holy crap! There was so much lag that I was ready and then unready again. So there we go. So that should do it. So we'll start by playing the Sentinel Collapse. Then we'll play the Speed for Flux, and who knows? Maybe like right now the group is full. So maybe we'll play the 2 missions. We'll go play the bounties, and afterwards maybe we'll form another group and play the missions again with the different people. What say you guys? So if you don't manage to get in the first group, I wait a bit. Once we're done, we'll try it again with a different group if we have
He
time,
didn't put
obviously.
me in the first group. He's just
Yeah,
trying to, compensate for forgetting about me.
yeah. I don't know. I was distracted. I was so busy inviting people that were that were
Excuses,
coming here.
excuses.
I completely forgot that I didn't invite you.
That's fine.
Usually I would invite you before we start the live, and here it completely slipped my mind.
That's true, but yeah,
I'll
you're
never
perfectly fine. I think
I'll
it's
never
fine.
forgive myself.
Oh, well, good, because that means you owe me basically for the rest of your life, right? If you're never going to forgive yourself.
Never.
Ronan says, I'm finally early to arrive at 5. Well done! For me, this is first thing in the morning, so it's pretty easy for me to be here on time. But when the time changes out of... Are we in daylight savings? Once it's back out of daylight savings for me and for you guys, it'll be my 7 a.m. instead of my 9 a.m. So a bit earlier, but I'm an early riser, so it's fine.
For the event, there's some qual bombs you can use to do some extra damage, or there is some exobyte interference shield. Whenever you get crowd controlled by the evil anti-monitor or whatever effects crowd controls you here, you can use the shield to break out and then to protect you from that for at least a little bit. And it also works for the whole group normally, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know, I haven't used them in a while. I haven't used them during this time at least, so you're probably right. You'll remember better than I do with those sort of things.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was working for the whole group, but I could be misremembering, or maybe it changed. A little emoji I see in the screen here says, I think they'll add a new Superman emblem for the new movie. We already know they're not going to add it from the new movie itself because they don't have the rights to do that. And they don't have the rights to add stuff from the movies or the TV shows. Their rights cover the comics. Once in a while, it may seem like they do add stuff from the comics, like the Batman Beyond, from the TV shows, like the Batman Beyond style we have in the game. But actually, the Batman Beyond style we have in the game comes also from the comics. At some point in the comics, they added a new version, I guess, of Batman Beyond, which in that case is actually Tim Drake from the future, as opposed to Terry McGinnis. So that's how they were able to get around using Batman Beyond by creating a new Batman Beyond from a comic. Yeah, it was in the comic Future State that we first saw the Tim Drake Batman Beyond. Although they could give us, oh sorry, although they could give us they could give us the Kingdom Come Batman, the Kingdom Come Superman emblem, and that would kind of look like the one from the movie because they pretty much reused the emblem from the Kingdom Come for Superman. Although they did change the colors a bit, so we would need a Superman, a Kingdom Come Superman emblem that is not color locked. So that way they could probably give us the emblem, but I somehow I suspect they might not. But we'll see. I would suspect if they do give us the Kingdom Come Superman emblem, it might be color locked. Although they did give us the 1 million Superman emblem and a few other Superman emblem last year, 2 years ago, and these were not color locked. So who knows?
Nightcrawler says they took the event versions of Apocalypse, Solo, Alert, and Raid. Did they? I saw it here. I thought.
We have the event version from the raids and the alerts. For the solo and the duo, it seems to be only the event version from the last three DLCs.
Yeah, that does include Apocalypse. I can see it here. I'm not sure what he means.
I'm not
Maybe
sure
I'm
either.
Misunderstanding. Yeah, because I can see it in the list here. Yeah, it's definitely still there.
I was a bit distracted, did not realize we were fighting the shadows already. That's what happens when you try to read the chat and play.
Aiden Warren says anti-multiverse, probably in story mode. I think they're two separate comments though, but in story mode, I have to have a look at that. Hang on.
Well, we'll take a look at that in just a minute. It'll make a bit more sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did add a story mode, but ultimately they just took all the event versions of the missions we had before, and they created a story mode with those missions. They did not do it for some of the solos and some of the duos because I assume they figure you can play those solos already. But there are some people like there's the Scarlet Speedster mission that gives a tough time to a lot of people. So I saw some people mention that they were not happy that we did not have an event version of the Scarlet Speedster. But I made a whole series of videos about that mission. I'm probably overdue to make a new one.
Oh yeah, I see story mode. I haven't tried that out or had a comprehensive look at that.
When your bones are dust, I will be the victor.
Jason says, hello, it's Chris Reeves Superman. I think I saw him here in House of Legends when you were back here, but he's clearly left either with you or, he didn't want to hang around with me, which is fair enough. How do you feel about the, because no offense, I haven't watched any of your recent videos on purpose because I feel like when I do, it colors my opinion on things and I don't want it to do that. But now that I've already recorded my videos on these topics, I can ask you, how do you feel about the change with the CR skip and the UI?
For the UI, I can understand some of the changes. Although again, for the event thing, the timer thing, I truly don't understand why they're doing that. Other than it might force some people to use replay badges to replay the content. If somehow they played it, like if you log in early, you don't think about it, you play your missions, and then you realize that oopsie, the mission you've played did not count towards the progress for the event. So you have to replay those missions again. You could replay those with an alternate character. Also, the whole... let's go back to the tab. Like, the timer normally is... there we go. 19 hours and 59 minutes. So the mission we just played did count towards the timer. But now I'm going to have to wait 20 hours before I can play the mission again, or I can progress the event again. And that progress is account-wide. So you could go to an alternate character, and you'll still see the same timer. So what you could do, I guess, if you don't want to use replay badges for whatever reasons, once the timer is expired, then you could log in with one of your alternate characters. But again, and also you can see the timer on top, like we have 24 days left. But there you can see the dates are messed up from January 4th to February 4th. So I think we're supposed to get the event January 1st, and somebody, I don't know, slept on the job, forgot to flip the switch, and we got it a week later. So somehow they did not change the date. So here it says from January 4th to February 4th, which I assume then it might end later and then February 4th maybe. We'll see. But ultimately we have 24 days left. So whether the dates are wrong or not, so there's roughly 8 days that you can afford to miss. to get the progress, but afterwards you will have to make sure that you get your 20 days.
Also, on the top of that, doesn't it say that it started on January the 3rd and it actually started on January the 7th?
We started a week later than what was.
Yeah,
So
what they said there.
so they, I don't know, somebody forgot to flip the switch and they started later. Well, what can you say?
I wonder if that means it'll end later or if that's the correct date now.
Well, I assume that the 24 days that won't change. So even if the dates
Yeah.
are wrong, when 24 days, the event I assume will be gone. And if we go back to the on duty menu for the event thingy we were talking about, oh no, well,
The
let's
blur
not.
is
Oh,
so
there we go.
annoying. Oh.
Yeah, some people are saying they're getting a headache from the blur. I don't get a
Yeah, my
headache. I
best
just
friend is having problems. A couple of people in my comments section are having problems with the blur. I just don't like it, but I didn't realize it was so off-putting for other people. It's awful.
well, I can understand a bit. Is sometimes I have issues with my eyes. Sometimes I'll see stuff a little bit blurry. And sometimes when I see blurry stuff like that, I wondered, oh, are my eyes messed up? And then sometimes I have to go put some eye drops or just wash my eyes or something. So when something gets blurry on purpose and I don't know about it, sometimes it may causes me issues where I try to. I don't know if it's my eyes that are blurry or if it's what I'm looking at. But in this case, like I see the on duty menu fine, so I know that the blurry thing is the end game as opposed to my eyes. For the event stuff, so if we go to the, let's say, the solo, so for the solo they did give us the story mode. Oh, actually, it did goes back to stemming the tide, so don't know why people were saying it didn't. Oh, but it doesn't include Metal Part 1. Okay, I get it. Or does it? Nope, it doesn't.
I've not investigated that before.
So anyway, so for the solo, it seems that they did not do all the solo missions we had as an event mode. So for the duos, here you have all the various duos. So here you can see it goes all the way back to Earth 3, the Earth 3 DLC. Before that, I don't think we had an event mode, so that's probably why it's not there. And the same for the raids and the alert. So eventually we are going to be able, well, so we can play the story mode if somehow we people don't have the proper combat rating or we're struggling with the content. We could decide and go play the event mode, the story mode. Sorry. And I guess it's to match with. Eventually, we are supposed to be able to get into a mission, even if we don't have the proper group,
I
size.
can't wait for that. I hope that actually happens.
So I guess that would allow us to be able to go, let's say, into a raid in story mode, and maybe be able to complete the raid even solo. We'll see.
I'm looking forward to trying that. Because I often want to complete things, especially on the Xbox and the Switch where there's very few people running stuff. I will be able to run it now.
Well, it would be useful also for farming for collections. There are some collections that are pretty difficult to get because no one is carrying whatever missions. So it would allow you to be able to go into the mission solo, hopefully get the collections, assuming that we do get some of the same rewards. Or to get briefings, investigations, that kind of stuff. Again, it would allow us to be able to go back and get some of those. It's not always blurry in the multiverse.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, he said it's always blurry in the multiverse. NeoGod said, hi Shadow, I'm here with you. I saw! He hung out with me while you were gone. That was lovely. And also Jason Hester says, he'll be back, he's just getting the dailies done in Anti-Monitor. I don't believe that for a second. I know the truth. You know, I'm not multi, so you left. NeoGods also said, for me, it's just an eye adjustment. That's the same for me. It's just mildly annoying for me, but other people have told me that it's really giving them a headache or making them uncomfortable in some way or messes with their eyes. And I don't like that. If it's messing with people like that, that's really not nice.
Well, apparently, if you put your graphic effects to the minimum, it fixes that. But again, like some people were not too happy because they were saying something like, I got a brand new PC, I want to put the graphics to the max. I don't want to lower the graphics just to bypass that. So some people,
Yeah.
the consensus is pretty clear. People are not happy about that. In some cases, it's
No.
because people want to still art swap. I understand, but in some cases, people have some real concern, visual concerns. So, but at the end of the day, pretty much no one seems to be happy about that.
I find it odd that they're trying to do anything about the art swapping in this way. Maybe I am disconnected from a group who is very much against art swapping, but I don't really see why it's such a big deal. I can't art swap. I'm on PlayStation, and if I'm in a group with someone and they can, I'm glad because they assist the group by being able to do that. The only place it would be a problem is PvP, right? And that's
Yeah,
barely a thing.
PvP would be an issue, but also, sadly, there are people who want to be at the top of the scoreboard. So when they see someone doing twice the damage they're doing, they don't feel good inside, and they have to complain about that.
Oh my goodness. I don't understand. I know there are people who really want to be the best of the best and everything, and I get that that's their thing. I personally can't relate. I don't care about that. I just care if I have fun, and if everyone else has fun. So, maybe I'm just weird. I don't know.
I know, maybe.
Sorry?
No, maybe.
Did you say maybe? No, maybe? Definitely weird?
Absolutely.
Thanks, Malty.
That's okay. I'm always there
That's
for
why we
you.
get along so well. Weird goes good with weird. You're always there for me, but you didn't add me to your group and completely excluded me. So rude, man.
I must have
I
a.
kind of like that happened because it means that other people will get another shot at running the anniversary with you now.
I must have a bone to pick with you, in my subconscious or something.
What did I do?
I don't know.
What did I do?
My subconscious didn't tell me.
Is it because I didn't watch your movie recommendations yet? Because I don't have enough time, man. It's not because I don't want to.
No choice. You have to make time.
Yeah, I make time for this so that I get to see you. You know?
Well, if you cut down on sleep, you'll be fine.
I am already cutting down on sleep, not on purpose though.
Not
I just
enough.
can't sleep properly at the moment.
Obviously, not enough.
Oh, look, see? Little Ice Princess said to me personally in game, that's so rude to not invite you first. Thank you. I completely agree.
Oh, you're gonna have to use Google Translate for Brendan.
I don't think I'm up to the one you're at.
That's all right.
I've got Sancho, who says, at first it was a problem for me, but got used to the blur. I also got used to the blur. Glow said, I'm a quantum troll. Too nice? Is that in reference to the fact that you're also quantum? Or do you think that might be in reference to the fact that it comes up as healer when you try to do the event through the event screen?
It could be both. I don't know.
Red Hood says, hello Multiverse, good to see you streaming.
But I've noticed off the bat, I've noticed already there was a few issues with the event. Like the first issue I noticed was it doesn't show when you're loot locked. So if you go to the event and try to cure for something, it doesn't tell you that you're loot locked. So you could again, by distraction, play the mission and realize that oopsie, I did a boo boo. I played the mission and didn't get any rewards. So in this case, I knew I wasn't going to get the rewards because I already played the mission this week. But someone who doesn't pay attention, that could be an issue, I guess.
Sancho says, facts, I just want to have fun on this game. Thank you. Nice to know I'm not the only one. I feel like games are there to have fun. Some people seem to take it very, very seriously and genuinely get very upset. Now, I'm saying that, and I recently have been a little bit upset. Not angry, though. I was just sad with the new CR skip and the way that the game seems to be declining. But I don't get upset if someone's better than me in the game. I don't get angry if someone's artifact swapping because it benefits me. So, I don't know.
Well,
I feel like some people let their emotions really get into the game.
Well, there are people who value themselves with their uber elite game playing skills. So yeah, so that can be an issue for them, I guess.
I can't translate.
That's okay. I'll do it.
message.
I'll,
Yeah, I'm
I'll
so sorry. I'm not sure what setting I have.
once we finish the Avatar Paradox, I'll look into it.
Sorry, Brandon. Yeah, Sancho is saying English, but yeah, I'm sorry. If I could translate it, I would, but it's not letting me. I'm not sure if I have a setting wrong or something, but I can't read that. I'm so sorry.
Okay, give me a minute.
Red Hood says, I used to want to be the best gamer ever. Now I just play for fun as I get older. Are you saying that I seem old? I don't know. I've always just played for fun. I've never really tried to be the best of the best. Except a couple of times I've been a little competitive because I have two brothers. So sometimes I'm a little competitive with them on some things, and sometimes my sister too, but my sister is the same as me, play for fun. So, yeah, I don't know that I've ever really wanted to be the best of the best ever. I think that's just my personality. I don't really care. I just want to have fun with everybody. I also want everybody else to have fun. So when other people get upset, that makes me sad. But, yeah.
So if I trust Google Translate, our friend was asking, I wanted to know how to increase the resistance of my character, in addition to increases the force of my power.
Stat points.
At this point, stat points, I don't know how valuable those really are. Artifacts and allies are probably...
they're not as much, are they?
well, skill points haven't been as useful pretty much since Tier 4.
Yeah.
It's been pretty much a challenge since then. Because way back when we got Origin Crisis, the devs decided to make it a very, very challenging DLC, because there were always those who were claiming that DC Universe Online was too easy, they needed a challenge, and blah blah blah. And so the devs decided to listen to that group, and they gave us the Origin Crisis, which was pretty much the hardest content we had at that point. And a lot of people just couldn't do it. And also, since the content was so challenging, well, they gave us gear. The intent was that at first we were not supposed to be able to complete the content. We were supposed to have to play, let's say, the solo mission, and then maybe the alert, build up our gear, and then once we would get the gear, then we would be strong enough to play the content. But to do that, they had to make the gear very strong, because they had made the content very difficult. But that meant giving a lot of stats to the tier. Actually, it wasn't the tier 5 set of gear. So the tier 5 set of gear had so much stats that the stats you would gain from skill points was negligible by comparison. Like early on, the skill points would give you roughly maybe 30% of your stats. But once they gave us the tier 5 gear, then the skill points were maybe 10% of your stats, and in some cases it could go as low as 3 or 5% of your stats. So that pretty much made the skill points not very useful, or actually not as useful as it once was. So if
I will say though, sorry, you go.
That's okay. So for people who like, there are people, if you give them 1% extra stats, they'll see that as a big deal, and there are people who don't care. 1% or 0%, it's the same. So depending on where you stand, for people who think that 1% extra stat is very important, well, they kept on saying that skill points were important, and people who don't care about a 1% difference, they don't really care. And also, there's people who basically they grinded to get skill points up to that point. I guess some of them felt a bit foolish to have grinded for skill points. And now the skill points were not so valuable, so they still kind of expected everyone to do the grind that they did in order to have the same amount of skill points they had. So there were a few reasons why some people were saying that skill points were still important, but it wasn't necessarily always because of the skill points themselves.
I will say though, I found that if I chuck 50 stat points just straight into health, no matter what my build, I tend to have a little bit more longevity in game, so your character is less likely to get a knockout. But I don't know if that's helpful for everyone. It's just something that I personally have noticed when I play. I don't have, like, Multiverse knows the numbers. But it seems like Abby Sue agrees with me. Put some skill points on health. So I don't know, it seems to help me, and I just need 50 in there, and then I'm good.
Well, Honestly, I don't really notice. I have a lot of characters, as you guys know. When I play a character that has 400 skill points, or I play a character that has 100 skill points, I can't say that I see a really big difference. So to me, it never really mattered. And also, the gear, it's much easier to get to improve the quality of your gear and to get more stats from your gear than it is for skill points. For skill points, sadly, you have to play the long game. You have to grind certain missions, and from grinding and grinding and grinding, then you will have to. Then you will get extra skill points. For gear, once you can purchase the gear, you buy the gear, and then your stats go up immediately. So the grind is
Yeah.
not at all the same, so that there's a lot more grind for skill points and for gear. Much easier to upgrade your gear. So for most people, that's what you do first. You upgrade your gear, and then if you have time, yeah, sure, you might grind a bit for skill points. And even then, like as you grind to play missions to get marks for your gear, you will get skill points whether you want to or not. So
I just got a private message. Chris Reeves Superman. Jason is back. I guess he was telling the truth when he just went to go and get his dailies done. I take it all back. Lil Emoji says, think they'll ever add the Kryptonian race to the game, or just different races in general, like Kryptonian?
nah, it's
I
not.
doubt
It's
it.
not gonna happen. Especially seeing.
That would be cool.
I'm curious. I'm dying to get the next DLC. That's going to be quite telling, and what the devs are planning to do. But already with the new event, with stuff like the Outsider event, we can already tell that like they it's obvious that they're not going to create as much content that we used to have. Not as many assets. For
Yeah.
example, if we take a look at the Outsiders event, it's an event that they made entirely out of reused assets. So they did not have to create any new assets for that. All they did was give us 10 new feats, 10 skill points, and that was it. They did not need to create a new style. They did not need to test. Like at this point, we have thousands of styles. So whenever they create a new style, they have to test those styles against the thousands of styles we already have. So I assume uh, creating a new style at this point probably a lot more work than just creating a handful of new skill points, a handful of new feats to
Not
get
even
skill points.
styles. Like,
Sorry.
the furniture that we're getting for each event is just a duplicate of ones that pre-exist. I liked the ones for Christmas where they were like an ice version, but now the ones we've got for anniversary seem like duplicates of ones that already exist in the game to me as well, and I'm just like, please put a little bit of effort, especially for base building. There's a lot of people who are looking forward to different furniture coming into the game, and it's not happening either. Sorry. Did my audio cut? Hello? Alright, well, at least I know my audio is coming through on the live, but I can't hear Multi if he is talking. You invited me, Multi. That's so kind of you. What a thoughtful thing to do. uh, what phase are we in? Did Multi's audio cut? Oh, there you are. Multi? Yeah, I can't hear multi both in my headset and also on the live, so you guys can hear me and not him.
Can you hear me?
Oh, now we can hear you. Yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
At least I can.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll check your.
The audio seems to be crashing again. It happened to me when I made my video about the new Mega Capsule. Halfway through my recording, my audio was gone, so I had to redo the audio in Movie Maker. I was a bit of a nightmare.
That doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, so I don't know what's wrong with the audio right now, but anyway. So guys, send me a tell. I think we didn't have Shazam with us, so let us invite Shazam. It's going to be a bit tricky for me to invite, even if you come near me. Send me a tell so that I can invite you to
YT,
the group. Whitey,
YT,
Whitey was
Shadow Knight,
there. Shadow Knight was there. Oh, Lord,
Christy.
is Lord a new one?
Oh, guys, join me in the other phase, or join Multi in the other phase if you want to join in on this run. A couple of the people who were with me outside are no longer in the same phase as me because I'm in the same phase as Multi. So there are
Oh,
a few people I think were waiting.
and yeah, I'm not going to invite Shadow Knight, who was with us before. I'm trying to get some new people.
Yeah. I thought he was with me. I must have mixed him up. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. So let's invite Slingshot, King T Boy.
I've never been little emoji. I just want to say your question about the Kryptonian races is an interesting one. It's one I've never heard of, and now you've got me thinking about all the different races that they could include. I would want to make Martian Manhunter so bad if they did that, but yeah, I don't think they're going to. I do think that's a really interesting idea though, and I love messing around with like character creation stuff because I've done it on like I've just recently on BG3, but also I used to play Elder Scrolls, and I love creating characters based on their race and traits and things like that. I think it's really fun. So that was an interesting idea. Have you ever been asked a question like that before, Multi? It's the first time I've heard that.
Sorry, I was busy inviting people. I wasn't listening.
Oh, sorry. See, first he doesn't invite me to the group, then he doesn't listen to what I say. I mean, I don't know if he really likes me that much, guys.
Well, the
I mean, he
important
must. He keeps having me back.
the important is that people are listening to you.
I guess true. Way to make me nervous. Thanks a lot. um.
So
Yeah.
we have room.
Neo gods. Sorry. You go.
That's
You
okay.
go.
We have room for Ronald Roth. Was in with us, I think. So that should do it. We don't normally do this, but tonight let's try this to give a chance to more people to be in the group.
Yay! I love the anniversary event. I think it's kind of funny that when I've just said, "Are we playing anniversary today? Yay!" and got excited about it, that's the time that he forgets to invite me to the group. But I will say it means that other people get to be invited, so we get to go twice, which is quite nice.
Well, we could try to do that more in the future.
Well,
Oh,
with
who
your
knows?
heroes, you usually have at least 2 groups worth to go for the run.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe.
Well, another option would be to create two different groups.
True, but I don't know how many people would want to run with me over you. I feel like there would be very few.
Come on, they would all want to run with you.
Uh-huh. Now you're just trying to suck up after your, not inviting me thing. And also not listening to me thing. So rude. I will
So,
admit I often don't listen to Multi if I'm trying to read through the chat and see what I need to say next, so sometimes I miss what you say.
so what is it you were asking?
I don't know, it's too far in the past now.
Okay.
Oh, no, it was whether or not you'd been asked a question like the Kryptonian races question before, because that's the first time I've seen a question like that, and I've never really thought about it before.
I don't think people ask me, but it's something we discussed on the forums quite a bit. The different races, it's something that's been suggested for a long, long time. Uh,
Yeah.
Sadly, it hasn't happened yet. And I wouldn't expect it to happen anytime soon, but we'll see.
I
But
wouldn't either at
again,
the moment. I'd be surprised if they do anything new.
well, they seem to create quote unquote new content by using already existing stuff.
Old content.
Like again,
Exactly.
the Outsider was in theory a new event made out entirely of reused assets. Again, as we mentioned, even some of the base items are technically the same base items. Some were made out of ice during the Christmas seasonal. Now we have them, but
Yeah.
as Triumph statues.
Yeah.
I wish we had more Triumph statues. I love those statues, but it's still basically a redress, an old asset that was given new textures, and
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
Which is see, this is why it's making me sad. Is because so many things that are coming out are, I don't know, repeats of things I already know exist within the game. I'm just, I don't know. The slow
Like
decline of the game is making me just a little bit sad.
yeah, like the event thingy, the event tab for the anti monitor. Again, it's something that they're just reusing the same mission we always had, but they added an event
Yeah.
tab to sort of fake out creating new content. So basically, they're
Yeah.
creating new
I
content.
quite like the emote though.
So they're creating new content that doesn't require them to create new assets. And for the anniversary event, we'll go take a look at the vendor. But the anniversary event the anniversary event vendor is a great example of basically showing us in real time the decline we've had with DCUO. So basically,
Yeah.
basically the I would say the decline started with the House of Legends. When we got House of Legends and even more the Evil Clamp, that's pretty much when things started going downhill. Or
But it was a slow decline. Now it seems like they're rushing down the hill. They're racing to see how quickly they can get there. Just,
well,
I'm not happy.
they had the how can I say that? They had some goodwill
I
until
have no idea.
now. Like they had
Yeah.
they had excuses, I guess, good reasons why there was less and less content. Like when they lost a whole bunch of devs, yeah, it made sense for them to give us a booster module and a time capsule that was made out of reused assets, because we understood that they lost half of their team, maybe more, and they probably
Yeah.
lost some of the people that created those assets. So that could be understandable. Getting less rewards for the events, again, that was understandable because they lost a lot of their people. So
Yeah.
so we've been waiting basically ever since ever since a bit after the House of Legends. We've been waiting for the devs to be able to get a full team in order to be able to get back on the horse, as they says, to be able to get back on track, and it hasn't happened yet. We're still waiting. It's like 3 years now, and we're still waiting.
Even when that happened, though, and there was the issue with, a decrease in the amount of furniture, for example, with the events and things like that, there were still new items. They weren't rehashed items.
Yeah, but
It
there
was
were
just less of them.
Yeah, but there were items that were created by the people before they left. I don't know if
Yes,
you.
absolutely. Which is why it seems like the decline has increased now that those people are all gone.
Yeah.
I don't
Well, again,
know.
their game plan seems to be to try to create new content that doesn't require new assets. So basically, create new content that doesn't require as much work.
Yeah.
Or, but like,
Shadows.
so the next DLC, the next DLC or two will be quite telling. Uh, there's two things that will be
Oh,
telling.
no, no.
First, the amount of content they give us, like the amount of content they give us with the next DLC, but also how long between DLC. Like because right now we don't have the DLC on the test on the public test server just yet.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't think they're going to.
well,
I'm wondering if it'll go straight to live so that nothing is given away.
that. See, I don't thought of that. I would assume that they would put it on test maybe today at the latest,
But I hope so.
so that people could try it out. But yeah, you could be right. Maybe they're not going to do that. But
Well, it seems like with the blog posts that they're doing, they're really trying to build some hype there. Honestly, it's not working for me. The first one built a little bit. I was excited, but the second one is kind of making me feel like it's dragging on. Can you get to the point already? So I don't know. It seems like they're trying to build hype, but for me personally, it's not working. And if they are, I'm wondering if they're going to chuck it straight on live so that everyone gets to see it at the same time. I'm not sure. It's just a guess. I make a lot of guesses, and sometimes I hit and sometimes I miss.
already even the hype they're trying to build, we can already tell people are going to be disappointed by that, because
Absolutely.
right now people are expecting a Batman DLC, and sadly I'm pretty sure that's not the case. So
It sounds
that
like it's Constantine now. If you read the next blog, it sounds like we're following Constantine, or because Batman left, and then the last character we were left with at the end of the second blog was Constantine. So from that blog only, I would assume now we're following Constantine. But I think the start of it being with Batman and then swapping over this way is kind of, I don't know. I play a game to play a game. I don't play a game to read, and I like to read. But I just wish they would do it in the game and not in blogs.
well, I assume the blog was to make the transition from the Harley Quinn DLC to the next DLC we're gonna get. Because when it starts, like the whole killer thingy that starts in the first blog, it's actually a briefing we have in the game and the Harley Quinn DLC. So we do have a briefing. Let's go look it up because why not? We'll give a chance for people to get here.
Yeah.
But if we get here, I forget. I think it's global briefings. Ah, there it is. So here, the Exobyte Killer was part of the Harley Quinn DLC. So here you can see.
Bullock found another Vic tonight, a block away from Crime Alley. Third this week. Exabyte in
Oh yeah.
Looks like we've got a superpowered serial killer on the streets.
So anyway, I won't play all the briefings, but this is the first blog in a nutshell. The exception is that instead of having briefings, it's Batman and Catwoman that are talking about that.
Still no word from Batman on the
Have you read the second blog?
what's happening in
Yeah, I did, and I
hopefully he'll
completely forgot it already, so I can't even talk about it.
That's exactly how memorable it is.
And
yeah.
I try to experiment. I've been experimenting a bit with. There's this little thing called Copilot, some sort of AI thingy that comes with Windows. So I asked Copilot what is going to be the next storyline in DC Universe Online, and then asked him what is going to be the next. Tell me what the 4 chapters will be. Sadly, I had to beat it up a bit because it kept on repeating. Like from one chapter to the next, it was pretty much repeating the same thing, just slightly with different words. And so I had to beat it quite a bit for it to finally give me a different chapter 1, a different chapter 2, a different chapter 3. So I posted all 4 chapters on the forums just for the fun of it. But
That's hilarious. Wait, you're making friends with AI instead of real people, Multi?
oh yeah,
That's not good. I love the way you said that so confidently. Yeah, of course. Because real people suck.
well AI is not too bright either. I can tell you that.
Oh, the
And
lag in the menu.
yeah, my menu is frozen. I hope we're not going to crash. There we go.
Yeah, my menu is also frozen.
So I know, yeah, UI is not too bright, sadly, and sometimes it gives also the wrong information. I was discussing the Phantom movie with the UI, and then at some point it told me there's this line in the Phantom where the evil Kabai Singh says something like Chingaboo, and I was trying to figure out like does that even mean anything or is it just made up? Because he says that it's some sort of ancient pirate talk where it means fire the cannon. And so I tried to ask the AI the lion fire the cannon from Chingaboo from Kabai Singh. Is that really a real line? And then the UI the AI gave me a totally different line, and I said no that's not what he says. He says Chingaboo. He said, oh yeah you're right. And then the AI told me yeah you're right. He does say Chingaboo. And then I tried to ask it like why did you tell me this then? Why did you tell me he said something else then? And I couldn't get a straight answer from that evil AI. But so basically, it just couldn't do it. It somehow gave me the wrong information. So be careful if you get information from the AI. Odds are there's no guarantee that it's the accurate information. And then when I tried to
Basically, a guarantee it's not the right information.
pretty much, but when I tried to discuss why it gave me the wrong information, it just couldn't do it. And for that story, I guess all it really did is it took the first blog and it kind of rearranged it. Like I would ask it for chapter 1, what can we expect, and then it sort of gave me bits and pieces of the blog. But then for chapter 2, when I asked it about chapter 2, it sort of rearranged some of the bits and pieces from the first blog. to come up with chapter two. But so I did that for the 4 chapters, and then I had to tell the AI, listen, you're telling me the same thing in all the chapters. That doesn't work. So I had to get it to redo it a few times before I got something that almost looked like a coherent story.
I have no idea why you would put so much effort into trying to get an AI to predict things for you. That's hilarious.
Well, we keep on hearing about AI, so I thought I'd experiment with it a little bit. Also, it's a tool that comes with Windows, so I thought, let's give it a try. Let's see what we can do with that. I've been toying also with Leonardo AI. Again, I took the first chapter that the co-pilot told me, and I tried to come up with a visual with Leonardo, which I posted on the forums. And I have to admit, the version of the bat signal that Leonardo made was special, let's say.
Not a bat at all, maybe?
Actually, it is. It is. It looks more like almost the sign of a gas station or something. But I left it.
Smacked in the head by a boulder multi.
But I left it there. I thought it was funny. But
Fair enough.
if all you want is a picture of Batman, like if you just ask the AI Batman in the city at night, yeah, I'll come up with something decent in like 20 seconds. But
With a couple of extra fingers, or you good?
actually, they're getting much better with the fingers. Although there are exceptions, I guess. Like if you ask for Spider-Man, somehow Spider-Man has 20 fingers, or the fingers he has are in a weird shape, let's say. So
Yeah, 'cause they're trying to do the hand thing that he does when he's spraying web.
yeah, pretty
And they
much.
fail. Yeah.
So, but now usually the fingers are fine, and you can come up like I can already see a lot of people who could use the AI for their D&D character. You ask it to come up with a draw rogue, again, it'll give you something decent in like 20 seconds.
Yeah, I must admit it has improved recently because I used AI to create my Christmas greeting to everybody for my channel, so that I could have myself and future Laura and my character all in the same shot because we're all the same person. So that it worked out. It came up with some nice shots, so that's all right. It doesn't do too bad. I'd love to be able to get an actual artist though, but they cost some dollars, and I don't have the dollars at the moment. So
That's part of the issue, the dollars, but even the time. There's no artist, like, you can literally get a picture in 20 seconds. No artist can do that. No matter how good they are, no matter how popular they are, that can happen. So if you need a Batman...
There's no substance to an AI picture. There's substance when an artist makes something.
Yeah, but I heard that before. When we had CGI way back when, the early CGI, that's one of the arguments that people were using. And today, that's not exactly true. And also, as you did mention, like I've been toying with UI for about 2 years now. Like I toyed with it a bit like 2 years ago, for a couple of weeks. Then I stopped using it. Then I tried again maybe a year later. It got better, but not enough, I guess. But right now, I guess I have to admit it's again depending on what you need. If you want a nice picture of Superman, 20 seconds, you have one. Now, if you want a nice picture of a Kingdom Come Superman, now that's a different story. Or if you want a nice picture of All-Star Superman, again, it's a different thing. But if all you care is a picture of something that kind of looks like Superman, you'll get that in 20 seconds. The same with but
also by picking things that pre-exist in the world, they have a lot of artwork to draw on to be able to create the image that they're after. If you want a very, very specific piece of artwork, then they're not very capable. They misunderstand things, and also if you have more than one person in an image, they tend to combine the details that you have for one character and another character together, and you end up either with not the right amount of characters or with characters with the wrong details on them. So saying Superman or Batman, they have a lot of artwork to draw on to be able to get an accurate image for you. But if you're making something fresh and new, they don't have a lot to draw on, and they can misunderstand easier.
yeah, I tried to get it to make a multiverse. Doesn't work. Even if I supply a picture, it still doesn't work.
Yeah, I have the same same problem trying to create Futurora. So, yeah.
But it's improving quite a lot and fast.
It is.
So
Yeah, very
and
quickly.
sadly again, you cannot compete against how fast it is. Like
20 seconds. Yeah.
20 seconds. Like you could get a pretty decent background, let's say for an animation show in 20 seconds. The only thing though is it's not quite there for like if all you need is something maybe for a cover of a comic, then yeah, you can get a comic cover pretty quick. But if you're looking for something for sequentials, again, that's a bit tricky because trying to keep the character consistent from one image to the next, it does struggle with that. And of course, also
It changes it quite frequently.
depending on which character, like Superman, Batman, it's fine. You'll get something pretty good quickly enough. Cyclops of the X-Men, it just cannot do it. It does not even come close to looking like Cyclops or any version of Cyclops for that matter. I'm still scratching my head, wondering what the AI thought I meant when I typed in the Cyclops of the X-Men or Daredevil. And Daredevil is another one. You would think that with the TV show, because with the Flash, one of the things with the Flash is that if you're not careful, if you just ask for the Flash, by default it'll give you Grant Gustin. So you would think that maybe with Daredevil they would do that. They would give you Charlie Cox, but nope. It gives something that doesn't look like Daredevil, not even close. But with Captain America, it gives you a decent version. Iron Man, it gives you a spot-on version of I would say the version from the first movie, I think.
Sounds like you've played around a lot with AI.
Well, I play as much as I can. You have a certain amount of coins. Nah, you don't need friends. When you have AI in your heart, you don't need friends.
So, wait, are we friends? I thought we were friends.
Well, up till now, I thought I thought you were Siri. So yeah, I thought we were friends.
Actually, could do a pretty good theory voice. I don't know. My family calls it my air hostess voice. But keep your hands and legs inside the vehicle at all times. No flash photography.
But
I can do a theory voice. I can understand that. But I laugh like every 2 seconds, and you think I'm an AI. That's terrible.
well, maybe you're a badly programmed AI. I don't know.
Jeez. First I came here and like he didn't invite me to the group. Then now I'm just getting insulted. He doesn't listen to me. I don't know why I'm here, Multi. To read the comments.
But for like if you use something like a Leonardo AI, you have a certain amount of coins you can use every day. And depending on what you want to do, it'll ask you for a certain amount of coins. Like, for example, you get 150 coins. Some images will require 24 coins. Some images will require 10 coins. And sometimes you can go into an image that you've already created, and then you can try to tweak it a bit, and that'll cost you like a handful of coins. So depending on what you want to do and what you try to do, you have a limited amount of options you can do per day.
I use, I think it's called Capture Fabrica. So there's no limit, you can go as long as you like, but there's no editing option unless you want to pay, and I just choose to edit elsewhere if I'm going to edit it. So I can create as many as I like if I need to for anything. Not that I have recently, but that one might be one you might want to try if you're so limited and you want to be able to do more.
Sure, I'll give it a try.
Sweet.
I wouldn't mind.
I'll check what it's called. It could be Creative Fabrica. I can't remember. But I'll send you the link.
I wouldn't mind paying for the like Leonardo AI. The thing is that the packages they have, like they don't have a package where they say give us $100 and you can use it as much as you like. They have packages like for $15 you'll have X amount of coins, and I sometimes the 150 coins I have go by really quick, like in just a few minutes. So even if like it seems like a lot, like one of the packages will give you I don't know 10,000 coins, which seems like a lot. But if you create a lot of stuff, you'll probably eat through those coins pretty quickly.
Sounds like you create a lot of stuff. I think he's trying to create a friend. That's what it sounds like to me.
It could be.
A superhero friend? Yeah. Which is sad because I'm your friend. I thought. Red Hood said, when other people are actually having fun around me, I tend to zone out for a second from just knowing everyone is happy in that moment. Then I get knocked out and everyone in the game is mad. I don't think I've done a knockout, but I've definitely made some stupid choices because I've been like half asleep playing and didn't notice something happen. But I generally play half asleep, so that's kind of my standard because it's the thing that I do like at the end of the day to wind down. Last thing I do. So yeah, I've done some stupid things. No one's surprised, right?
That's okay. If you get too stupid, we'll kick you out.
Ah, fair enough. Near Woods also said, I want the Blue Lantern power. I need it. You don't know how many people want that so bad.
We've been asking for that for years and years. At this point, it's not going to happen. New powers.
They're not even creating furniture, guys.
New powers is not going to happen.
No.
There's a suggestion. I think I made that suggestion a long time ago, but there's some people started suggesting that again recently. And they could make power rings. Like, if they cannot give us the Blue Lantern power, fine. But they could at least give us an artifact, maybe, or a ring like the Legion ring, but that would be a Blue Lantern power ring. Maybe it could have one ability linked to that, like we do have with some of the artifacts. Even if you have to upgrade it, fine. But so they could give us a Blue Lantern ring with some Blue Lantern abilities, maybe.
That would be cool, actually. It'd be like a nice halfway point between actually creating something that's a new power. People can grab the ring and try to create it. I'd grab a water character and then grab the ring and then use the powers. You should suggest that, Multi.
We did. It's been suggested on the forums already. So, and I think I suggested that way back when. Although we have new devs now, so but someone did suggest that again. Will we ever see that? Maybe, maybe not.
But yeah, I would like to see a Blue Lantern power also. I would also like to see a Black Lantern power.
Well, they could do all the rings. That's the beauty of that. Like one artifact for each ring, and it give you one lantern power extra. Like one blue lantern power or one Black Lantern power.
Oh, I want that so much.
Doesn't even have to be a new power. Like it could be. They could take one of the lantern powers that already exist, recolor it black, and there we go. Or better yet, one of the celestial power, the celestial ability, you put that in a ring, and you say it's your Black Lantern ability. So anyway, so there's a lot of things they could do, but they're not doing it. Oh, let's go to the just realized. Let's go to the anniversary event map. We'll play a couple of the bounties.
Beautiful.
So guys, even if you're not in the group, come on the map. We'll fight the various Paradox bounties and probably something else. Oh, I didn't just realize I didn't play my missions today.
Oh, are you gonna run through your dailies?
I'll just pick up the missions, but
boss run time. Woo! I love doing the bosses, it's fun. I actually ran for ages on my Switch and my Xbox trying to get the Water Elemental henchman or backup for ages and ages and ages. Then I met Multi and he literally gifted me one on the PlayStation, a place where I've never played or tried for them, and now my water character has water elementals because Multi gave me them. Isn't he such a sweetie? Sometimes.
Yeah, I have no use for them. So let's start with talking to water elemental. Let's start with the water one, and we'll move our way to the dog and then the evil paradox further south on the map. Oh, people are here. Let's wait a bit to give a chance to everyone to catch up. So
Neela is asking. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. So we'll start with the blue water elemental or deep water elemental. What's it called?
Deep water elemental.
But I don't see it no more.
I don't call them the right names. It's turned into a whirlpool, so, stay back. But I call the other one the puppy and the bug, so...
That's fine.
I often don't remember what they're called. Mind you, I like Cerberus, so I should try to remember. Six-horn Cerberus on that one. Neela was asking how long have you been playing this game, and said sorry if you already answered, which you have not today.
That's
okay. Answered other times, I guess.
In 2011, when the game went free to play in September 2011, I waited 2, 3, 4 weeks maybe, and then I gave it a try. Because way back when the game was first released, or even a bit before the game was released, uh, the reviews were not too kind. Like the kindest reviews were like, it's fine for a month. These were the good reviews at the time for DCUO. So the consensus was pretty much that there wasn't enough content, and there was no way that people were going to pay $15 a month for so little content or something like that.
Yeah.
And but when the game did go free to play in September, and then I had no more reasons not to at least give it a try. But I waited 2, 3 weeks, maybe a bit more, because obviously the servers, there was going to be a lot of people that would try out DC Universe Online for the first time. The servers would probably struggle with all the new players it would get. And even then, when I started weeks later, even then you had long queue times. Sometimes the queue would be hours and hours. I would queue at 3 a.m. so that the queues wouldn't be so long. But even then, it was even though I waited a few weeks, the game was still struggling a bit. But so I was free to play for about, I don't know, 3 days, and then afterwards I said, okay, I like this game, so I bought. I think the Future Batman was my first purchase. At the time, if you spent the $5, you would become a premium player. And about a month later,
Still the case, I think.
sorry. Yeah, that's still the
Still the
case.
case.
That is true. That is
Yeah.
true. And but after a month, I decided, okay, let's try out the subscription, and I've pretty much been subscribed ever since.
He moved fast. Cal L is asking, do you think survival mode will ever come back? And if not, do you think they should have survival mode gear and base items available at the base vendor?
No, I think survival mode is done like dinner. It's pretty much being replaced by stuff like the Outsiders event, or even like what they're doing right now with the anniversary event. And I assume they'll do that with. I don't know if we'll get the Outsiders event just once a year. That's the kind of event I could see us getting 2, 3 times a year. But it basically, as we did mention before, it's an event that's made entirely of reused assets. So they did not have to create anything new. They did not even have to tweak the missions, because one of the problems with survival mode, or even with Save the Universe, come to think of it, is that they have to create even if they don't create new missions. Like for survival mode, they can pretty much use the same arena, but they have to rebalance the arena with each survival mode. Because obviously the characters are getting stronger over the years. So the survival mode from 2 years ago, it just won't do. They have to rebalance it according to the gear that people have today. And the same and Save the Universe, again, they have to turn it into, even though they take missions that are reused, they still have to turn those missions into endgame missions. Which, for the Outsiders thing, they don't have to do that. They just pick a handful of missions, say, here, this is what we get for the Outsiders, and we play those missions again. The same, and they did that also with Batman Day, Wonder Woman Day, Superman Day. So we can pretty much see the pattern, whereas they seem to want to create new quote-unquote new events, but by just reusing older assets, older missions. So sadly, for survival mode, that does require a lot more work. For Save the Universe as well. So I think we're pretty much done with those. Oh, let's fight the Shadow. We'll come back for the Shadow, I guess. So sadly, for survival mode, for Save the Universe, it's going to be too much work compared to giving us something like the Outsiders event. And hopefully,
I think you've got a point about the assets, though, that the items that were available from there, they're probably going to reuse those, in my opinion, because they reuse everything. So
well, they did.
They'll find another way to add that in as a reward.
They did reuse some of the survival mode assets in the Superman event.
Yeah.
We had like some of the pets. These came from survival mode. So hopefully next year maybe they'll add even more, like the Superman hairstyle. What else was related to Superman? So hopefully they'll add more survival mode stuff to Superman Day next year. But we don't really know.
I got you. No, someone else got you. Never mind.
So hopefully they'll find a way to give us access to those rewards again. but we don't know just yet.
Oh, Itrap says, Multi, can you please make a new video for the returning players on how to reach a max build on the game? I feel like there's no proper videos on how to really hit max CR and what's most effective. I mean, you were already planning to do like your solo build with your fire character Flash, right?
Yes.
You
But
could potentially keep that going with that.
yeah, I suppose I could do that. We'll have to figure it out.
Yeah, I also don't know if there's any videos that exist. I certainly haven't done a video on how to get to max CR ASAP. But
Well, it's been a while, and also right now max CR is 468 or something like that. Oh, the AI is glitching a bit. The UI is glitching a bit. The max CR right now is 460 something, 468 I think. So yeah, going from level 1 to 468, that would require a lot of videos. So I can see why no one is tackling that. At the time when I did those videos, I think the max CR was 100 or something like that, maybe even less. But yeah, I can see how these could be needed. Let's see if we can go fight some evil shadows.
Shadow Archons?
Oh yeah.
Woo! Oh, someone in the group chat said 464 is the highest at the moment.
Okay.
Shadow Knight said, no problem not inviting me. I'd be happy to switch places with Shadow Lady. She's the best. Oh, that's so kind. You're so lovely. Thank you so much. But I don't want to boot anybody from the run. I'm more than happy to just chat away. But I honestly will say I didn't want to miss out on this one because I really do love this event. So I'm glad that Multi reran those raids. Lil Emoji says, I think DCUO should add an Absolute Superman comic event and try to convince DC Studios to give them some of the rights to the Superman emblem.
Nah, that'll never happen. Because they yeah, DC has the rights, but now the estate of the Superman creators does have not quite the rights, but they have a share of the profits or something like that. I'm not sure if they have part of the rights, but they at least have part of the money. So sadly, whenever they use it might be why we don't see Superman a lot in the game, is that whenever they use Superman somewhere for anything, they have to give some of that money to the creator's estate. And sadly, one thing we know for a big corporation, they don't like to share. We saw that a lot. Oh, there's another one. We saw that a lot with Disney. Disney could have made Hulk movies, but Paramount owns the right to distribute those movies. So basically, they would have had to have Paramount distribute the Hulk movies, and they would have had to share the whatever money they made with Paramount, and they don't want to do that. So instead of making a truckload of money making Hulk movies and then giving some of that money to Paramount and putting a lot of money in their pockets, they'd rather not make money at all.
In the chat, Chris Reeve Superman says 925 is the max stat point right now. That's so high. Mine are not even close. Kal-El said Multi is future Sarah Connor. He needs to keep AI as friends.
Well, obviously, once Skynet takes over, if you're his friend, he's not going to be mean to you.
You don't know that. He could backstab you in 2 seconds.
It's
an AI. He doesn't care about you.
Skynet would never do that. Come on.
Yeah, I think you have too much confidence in Skynet. Anna Junior said, OMG, you did sound like an AI. Thank you! That's what I was going for. Aiden says, I live in Houston, Texas. It's hard to have friends. Is there a specific reason in Houston, Texas that it would be difficult? I don't know. I'm an Australian, so I don't know a lot about the US. I know what I know through my friends and from what I see online of your media. So I wouldn't know if being in Houston, Texas makes a difference to that. But I'm the kind of person who likes to have my very close-knit group of friends, and then, all other people can be friendly acquaintances, but there's only a few people in my life that are my close friends that I really, really trust. So I don't think you need a lot of friends, just ones who are actually trustworthy, who care about you.
Nah.
Jerome. Oh, Jerome says she is low-key flirting like crazy. Lol, too much giggles. I will let you know, I giggle all the time because I do it when I'm happy and I also do it when I'm nervous. So it happens continuously and I can't really help it. But I will say, obviously I'm flirting with Multi, he's just not picking up what I'm putting down. So, you know, if there's no interest there, that's fine.
Honestly, I didn't realize you were flirting.
Neither did I just found out now, you know?
Well, I already proposed and you said no, so you missed your window of opportunity anyway.
Hey, I said yes, we just couldn't get Max to officiate and now he's gone, so I don't know what you want from me.
Well, tell you what,
Okay.
tell you what, when there's no more big spiders in Australia, maybe I'll move there.
Alright, sounds good. That's never gonna happen. Australians, we don't even kill the spiders. Like, we're so used to them, we just name them and keep going on with our day.
What you call spiders, here we call it bears.
Yeah. Abby Sue says, I'm in Dallas, where close? Is Dallas close to Houston? Is that what she's saying?
I have no idea.
I'm
I'm
Australian, we don't know, guys.
I know where Dallas, I know where Texas is, but I couldn't tell you where Dallas is when in Texas.
Aiden says, usually I'm the one having to help the girls in Houston because their boyfriends can't help with bills and freeloaders. I have no idea what that means. Help them in game? Help them in life? I have no idea.
That's okay. We'll move on to the next comment.
Abby Sue says she's a happy person. Correct! I am just a happy person most of the time. In fact, if you watch my videos, I'm happy all of the time until the most recent video that I put out, because DC is making me sad. But generally, I'm a happy person. And I do laugh way too much, and I'm so sorry about that. It's a reflex. Multiverse one time said you have to try to not laugh, and I literally responded to that with a laugh. So it's just not possible for me to not do that. It just comes out. Bye, Shazam! Have a good night! Stop controlling my character! She's supposed to be tanking. Okay. Jason Hester says, I've created myself as Superman before. As in yourself, or as in your character? Because I know your character is Superman in here. Does that mean he cosplayed? Did you cosplay? Do you have pictures? Have you ever cosplayed, Multi?
Well, way back when we didn't call it cosplay, we would just call it disguising
Dressing up.
disguising ourselves.
Yeah. Oh.
But yeah, for Halloween, I had a Superman costume that I would use for Halloween every year. And it was yeah,
Sorry, you go.
and it was pretty impressive. All the girls wanted to touch it.
Oh, well, obviously. That's just because you're wearing it, though, you know?
Oh yeah. So they would
we don't...
you know that scene in Captain America where Peggy Carter touches Cap on the pec? That was me. That would happen every time I would use it.
Yeah. You can't really blame them, though, Multi. I mean, you know, you're a very adorable person.
Well, I thought it was funny when I saw that in the film, but anyway, because the costume had a pretty cool texture. I can't probably explain it, but it pretty much was a costume like the Christopher Reeve Superman costume, except with a crappy emblem. Like the emblem was, you could tell that they didn't take too much time putting the emblem in the costume.
Yeah. In Australia, we don't really celebrate Halloween, so as a child, it wasn't really a thing for me. It's kind of a thing now for people, but, you know, I'm an adult now, so I don't really do much with it. But one of my friends did have her birthday during Halloween, and it was a Halloween theme, so I dressed up then, but I was generic vampire. I looked cool, but, you know, it wasn't anyone specific, so you can't really call that cosplay.
But yeah, I did cosplay a lot. Like I used to organize like role playing games.
Oh, did you dress up for D&D and stuff?
Oh yeah. So we made like I had a friend who had he had this big plot of land, and we had a camp on that land, but we built a few more camps so that people could come in and spend the weekend. So people would come in
Yeah.
on Friday, and we would play all weekend, and Sunday they would go home and would start again. And we would do that about once a month at a time.
That
Uh,
sounds so much fun. When I used to D&D, we never dressed up though. It was
I,
always just
it was fun.
paperwork with our character sheet.
It was fun, but sometimes the weather made it a bit rough.
Oh yeah, were you outdoors or undercover?
Outdoors.
On the camp?
It was outdoors.
Oh, okay.
Basically, we were
Yeah.
literally playing our characters in the woods. We had people playing monsters. Like I was a dragon many times.
Oh, that's so cool! I'm so jealous.
So
Ah.
we had made 100 something costumes for people. We had I don't know how many costumes for the monsters, and it was a fun bit.
You sound so fun now. I'll accept the proposal now. I'll change my mind.
Too late.
Aw, broke my heart.
But so because we were playing D&D at the time, and our friend had this piece of land, and we thought, yeah, why not do that? And I think there was another place that was doing live role playing before us, and that is sort of where because we were wondering how we could play D&D and for reals, and we just couldn't figure it out. And then I think a friend went to play somewhere, and he came back and told us, okay, here's how we're going to do that, and we did that. But we did that one step further, where we had we had dragon costumes. No one else had that at the time.
Yeah, it sounds so cool. Ah, Jason, I'm not sure if you've done that in PM on purpose so that other people can't see, but yes, I do, and that would be great, and I will exchange my vampire one. If you're interested, I don't know if he wants that known or not, but yes, please. And my Discord is the same name as everywhere else. I'm that girl from AU. With the exception of X, where I'm that girl from AU _ because some girl took that name first. How dare she?
Some girls have no respect. So let's go back to the House of
I mean,
Legends.
she had hers way before me, so really, that's my own bad. Fred said, I was checking feats for anniversary. Where do you get the hammer emote?
We're not
You should
getting it
probably
just
say
yet.
because you can show them.
Yes. Basically, if you go to the events tab, so you'll see here there's a progress bar, and this is where the hammer emote comes from. So once you do complete the progress bar after 20 days, you will get the hammer emote, you will get 400 quarks, and you will get 10 ultimate tactical mods. So very often people will ask Multiverse where can you get quarks. Well, here you could get 400 of them, but it'll take you 20 days before you can get those. And for the hammer, from what I understand, like the tactical mods, this is only one per account. So you will get 10 tactical mods for your account, and that's it. The same for the quarks. The quarks is only one per account. But the emote, once you do get the emote, you will be able to redeem it for every single characters in your account. Apparently, once you do complete the progress, there's a little button to redeem the emote. So I assume we'll see it in 20 days. And of course, if you don't want to wait that long, you could decide to buy out the whole thing. So it started at $32, but right now, after 4 days, it went down to $25.60. So as time goes by, if somehow you don't manage, I guess that's part of the reasons why we have the timer thingy. Well, no, we could still have that without the timer. Anyway, so basically, if somehow you reach like day 20, 20, what, 24 days. So if somehow you reach day 23 and you don't have the everything you need to be able to get the emote, you could decide to just purchase it for the time left.
Abby Sue says, I need a search bar in the style menu. Can I just say we all need that search bar?
Oh, yeah.
Particularly people who have been on here for a long time, because scrolling through their items is like a chore. You could be in there for hours trying to just get your character to look good without a search bar.
Oh yeah, yeah. Once you have like at some point, I have like 65 pages of styles, so that is a lot of style to go through. Yeah, a whole bunch
Yeah.
of those are like the enhanced version of those styles, but still, it's still a bit of a pain in the butt when you're looking for a specific style and you kind of forgot what it's actually called. Yeah, it can be a bit painful.
Sorry, I am texting stick people back. There we go. Jason says, just create a lantern power and call it the spectrum, allow us to change the color. I agree with that. I think they already have lantern powers.
Yes,
Just,
but
just let us change the color.
I think they can't do that. Either DC won't allow it, or they just don't want to do it. But one of the reasons why they gave powers, different colors to the different powers, other than for aesthetics, was for the PvP aspect. Uh, it gave you a hint or a clue as to what power the person was using when you were fighting someone in PvP.
Mm.
So if you saw someone with green powers, you knew that, oh, this is a Green Lantern. If you saw someone with red powers, you knew it was a Red Lantern. If you saw someone fight with blue powers, you knew that, oh, this is a mental character. So it kind of gave you a hint of what you were facing. So part of the reasons was for that, but I'm pretty sure DC would not allow us to be able to change the colors of the lantern powers. Already, just getting the green aura, like today, we take that for granted that we have green auras. We have the chromo material. Here we have our friend Green Oniomo was a pretty cool John Stewart character. But getting a green aura at the time, that alone was challenging because DC they don't want us to have a green aura. So, ironically enough, we had a gold aura, which gave us a pretty cool looking yellow lantern aura. But for the green aura, it was a big no-no until eventually DC decided to bend the knee and they allowed us to get a green aura. And then afterwards, then we got the Green Lantern emblems, the Green Lantern materials, and all that good stuff. But it took a long time. Early on, they did not want us to get those items. Like at first, we could not even get a Green Lantern emblem. Way back when, the only thing that had a Green Lantern emblem was the Green Lantern hoodie. Let's show it for people who maybe don't never saw that.
You found out.
Almost. Oh, I have to remove the material. So way back when, if you wanted to have a Green Lantern emblem for your character, this was it. This was the only option we had. And DC were dead set against letting us use a Green Lantern emblem in the game. So, and I think at the time it was pretty much at the time also we were getting the Green Lantern movie. So I guess they were feeling very, very protective about the Green Lantern character. And but I guess once the Green Lantern movie was a disaster, they didn't care so much, and then we were allowed to get the aura, the emblem, and everything else. Sadly, they seem to still be very protective with the Superman emblem or the Batman emblem. What can you do? Although, again, for the Superman emblem, part of that may have to do with whenever they use anything related to Superman, they have to give some of the money to the estate of those creators, and they probably want to do that as little as possible. Oh, I saw a comment that the snowflake headpiece. What's a snowflake headpiece?
The snowflake headpiece. Do you mean the ice shards?
I don't know.
Ice shards that stick out the back of the head. Is that the one they're talking about?
No idea.
That one's from Christmas. I'm not up to that question, so I can't see what the question is.
No, it's
really
in the chat.
That,
it's in the game chat that someone is asking.
Oh, game chat. Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Junior said, kick the blue water elemental's butt, which we absolutely did. Katara is asking, is there any new codes?
No new codes. From what I understand, I made a video last year about the codes that still work in 2024. A lot of you guys during the summer send me messages or text or telling me that those codes no longer work. So I will take your words for it. So from what people are telling me, sadly, none of the codes seems to work anymore. I don't know if Shadow Lady can confirm that.
I haven't used any recently, sorry. All the ones that I had people used straight away, but they did have an expiry on them, so they won't work. And then are you talking about the in-game codes they used to have?
Yeah, things like Seize the Throne or Face Your Fear. From what I understand, none of those codes work anymore.
They have all been removed for quite a while now. I think I did a video on those.
Okay. And as for the giving codes, the last time we had codes was for Wonder Woman Day. Will we get more codes? I have no idea. And when, assuming we do get more codes, when will we get those codes? We don't know either.
Yep.
So I would have thought
maybe they'll give you codes to give away items from the survival mode.
Could be. Well, we might have thought like the anniversary event against would have been a good time to give us some codes, but they didn't do that. So hopefully, maybe I don't know. What's the next event after that? Valentine seasonal? Nah, I kind of doubt we'll get codes for that.
Yeah, I doubt that too. I think they'll do the code seems to be when you're celebrating a superhero specifically, so maybe the next one of those.
Maybe for Superman Day. Who knows?
Yeah. YT King had their power knocked out for a second because they're in a snowstorm. Look, I'm not happy that your power went out, but as someone who lives in Australia, and I did not go on the field trip that the rest of my family did to go and see Mount Buller where we have artificial snow. I've never seen snow in my life, and I'm jealous because I really want to see it. It's one of the things I want to do before I die is see real snow, and I don't know that that's ever going to happen because in Australia I've never seen it. The best we have is like frost on the grass in our winters, and there was this one Christmas where we had massive golf ball sized hail, and it like dented everyone's cars, and that's in our summer. So I don't know what was happening that day, but I've never seen snow, and I want to see snow.
I'll mail you some sometime.
Oh, thanks. You're so kind to me.
But nah, sadly over here, we often get power failures. I used to live downtown. When I was living downtown, it didn't happen very often. And when it happened, 10, 15 minutes later, the power would be back. Sadly, where I live right now, there's nothing major. Like if there was a hospital next to where I live or something critical like that, we probably would get power back pretty quick. Sadly, power, whenever there's rain, a little bit of rain, heavy rain, or even a big snowstorm, we lose power. And there's sometime, not last year, maybe the year before, where we lost power for like 3 days. So sadly, it's something that happens very often over here. And obviously, it's stuff like tree branches breaking the power cords, or sometimes you hear the generator exploding. And in some cases, like in the case of the generator, you would think that they would find a better way, or a way to, I don't know, put two generators if one is not enough. But so sadly here, often we lose power. And usually we don't seem to be in a sector that is a priority. So when we do lose power, it's usually for many hours, if not a couple of days.
If we lose power, which does happen sometimes, it's got nothing to do with cold weather. Because we don't really have cold weather in the same way that other people do. Lord, I don't know how to say that. Inuyasha in the group chat there says that the spiders in the Dominican Republic are huge. Are you bragging now? Are we going to get into a competition about who has the biggest spiders?
Nah, let's not get into
I
that.
don't know if that's me. Goliath's bird eater is a nightmare. I will say I don't know that Australia has the biggest spiders in the world. I think we just have like a group of large ones and a group of, is it venomous or poisonous? Whichever one of those things they are. We are, apparently he thinks we are getting into a competition. I'm going to lose. I don't know that we have the biggest. We definitely have like a large array of poisonous ones though, or venomous, whichever one it is.
Oh, apparently there's something on X, a brand new exclusive news, just in from the crime journal of Voivod. Recent supernatural activities are starting to hit too close to home. Uncover the truth in light and rain. Day of Reckoning. I think this has to do with the new DLC. There's some artwork that's been posted also, and there's apparently a new blog, I think, from the crime journal of Voivod. Yeah, there seems to be a new blog also. Well, let me check on the forums if there maybe.
Another blog. Why?
They want to tell you the story.
No, I don't want to read a story. I want to play a game.
Nah,
Stop giving me a story.
that's what you get.
You know, it won't bother me so much if when we do get the new chapter, it actually isn't needed that I've read any of the blog. But the blogs are starting to annoy me because they're not creating hype for me. They're just making it drag on and make me wait for the actual release of the chapter. Not in a good mood. Like, I'm not happy about it now. I was excited and now I'm not so much.
I thought there would be something about that. So this was posted on X. There was an announcement that was made on X, but there's nothing in the announcement section so far. So, yeah. So people are wondering also why, oh, why do I have an X account now? That's why. Sometimes you do get the information from X that you don't get from anywhere else. So here there's a new post from DCUO on X. I thought it might be announcing the next DLC, but it seems to be just announcing the new blog, the next blog. Oh well.
Um, Apparently, I'm going to lose the competition for the spiders.
That's okay.
Gabrielle says, "How do you get the gloves of omnipotence?" I have no idea. You'll know.
Do we have gloves of omnipotence?
I don't know. I don't even know what they look like, what they are. I assumed you would know because you're like a person who walks around with an encyclopedic knowledge of DC in your brain. So if you don't know, nobody knows.
No, I don't recall us having gloves of omnipotence. Like right now, we have a belt, we have a back piece, and we have a headpiece. So way back when, let me go find a shared bank. Way back when we had a few more omnipotence items. I guess we'll give it a little bit of history about the omnipotence items. Way back when you could get omnipotence items from random drops in certain missions. It basically was endgame missions. Yeah, you had a slim chance to get some omnipotence items. The idea was to get you to replay the mission, hoping to get some of those items. And then when we got around the time we got the Deluge DLC, although at the time, like the Deluge DLC at first, it was supposed to be an event. They turned it into a full DLC later on. But basically, when we got the Deluge, oh yeah, okay, I see which gloves he means. We'll get back to those in just a minute. So at the time, we had a neck piece and some rings, like the Starro rings that we could craft. These are the first items of omnipotence I got. We also had the clasp of omnipotence. Sadly, at this point, those are obsolete. But way back when, these were the omnipotence item we could craft with the Deluge DLC. And since then, there was a whole bunch of different ways to be able to get the OP items. So again, for a while we could craft them. Then afterwards, you had to get a certain random drops. Like for the Dark God Belt of Omnipotence, you had to get it as a drop, and then you had to craft to not craft it, but to enhance it the way we do a bit with artifacts, and then it would become an Omnipotence item. We had. Like there's the Dark Robin neck piece. That one I forget if it dropped as it is or if we had to upgrade it. But there's a whole bunch of omnipotence items we got over time, and they kept on changing how we would go to get those items and how we had to upgrade some of those items. Like here you can see the Brainiac back piece. There was the static face piece. And for the gloves, I guess you mean the Time Hunter gloves of omnipotence. These we would get them from Save the Universe. Sadly, we did not get Save the Universe last year, and I think we're not going to get Save the Universe anymore unless they somehow rework it some in a different way. But yeah, this used to come from the Save the Universe from the where is he? This used to come from the Rip Hunter vendor. Sadly, Rip Hunter is only active when we do have the Save the Universe event, and we don't know if or when we'll get that event again. So sadly, if you want to have those gloves, you can't really at this point.
Your inventory is so messy.
Yeah, I have to do a bit of. Oh, and
I don't want to look at it.
so we were talking about some of the pets. Like these are the pets we were talking about earlier. So there's a whole bunch of pets that came from survival mode that we got with the Superman Day event.
Yeah, I got a bunch of those from that. I was annoyed that I couldn't hand one over to my friend. He wasn't able to play at the time, and I wanted to give him one because I got like way too many, and I couldn't even pass him one.
Were they account bound?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least when I tried to do it, if they aren't now, I might try again because I've got
No,
what
yeah.
I need.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were account bound. So.
Cannot trade, cannot sell.
So yeah, so sadly, if these are the gloves you're talking about, we can't get those anymore.
Jason said, I always wanted to see Australia. I think it's a beautiful country, and I wanted to see the Irwin Zoo. I live in Victoria, so the Irwin Zoo is in Queensland. Queensland is definitely our highest international visitors, and the Irwin Zoo apparently draws a lot of people because of Steve Irwin and his son. But I have never personally seen it myself. I wouldn't mind going back to Queensland. I've been there a couple of times because they have like water parks and they have really nice restaurants because they're catering for international visitors. So there's really good quality stuff there. But I've never been to the zoo there. There are zoos where I am, and I really enjoy them here. Though I will say, keep in mind if you do visit Australia, it's hot, and if you go to Queensland, it's going to be humid. And also keep in mind that what you see that we advertise to the world is like a small section. Most of Australia is very, I don't know, residential, for want of a better way to say it. And a lot of people come here expecting to see like a big desert, and it's not like our streets are paved with trees. It's quite green. So yeah, some things will not be what people expect when they come.
Now, I would never go to Australia. And in Wolf Creek, there's this crazy guy who goes around and kill people. Come on, who wants to go there?
There are people who kill people in every country, and Wolf Creek is not a biopic. So
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. Is it? Am I wrong?
I don't know.
Sosa Da Vinci says, gotta be strong as to do the elite raids. I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, they did make for the event they did make the raid more difficult than last year, it seems. Well, we tried it earlier this week.
Oh, that's good.
I know just getting through the first boss was a nightmare, and we were not able to get through the second boss. Although it could be that some people were not maybe doing exactly what they were supposed to do, but still we were not able to get past the second boss. I'll probably try again maybe Tuesday. We'll see. But oh yeah, for in case you're wondering, if you do play the elite version of the Speed Force Flux, it does give you an elite commendation pack. If you do need some elite renown for any of the older content, so if you do need some renown for any of the previous content, that box will count for any content you want to. So basically, I could turn it into renown for elite allies, for Goons of Gotham, for basically anything I want. So if there's a DLC where you're still missing some renown, and also if for some reason you cannot get people to play the elite content, that would be a good way to be able to get the renown you need for that previous DLC. We used to have Save the Universe also that was good for that, like for Gods and Monsters. That's pretty much where I got the elite renown from. Sadly, Save the Universe doesn't seem we're gonna get it anytime soon.
Almighty Foe is asking, or not asking, rather just making a statement, wish they buffed up the sidekick and made it so we can customize them. It would be good to do in our free time. They actually said something about doing something with the sidekicks potentially in the producer's letter, but they were very, very not specific about it.
They were very vague.
What they're planning. They were very vague. That whole letter was very vague.
We do know that they seem to have some plans concerning the sidekicks, the backups, and all that stuff. But what those plans are, we don't know. Like, is it? We've been asking for years and years, pretty much ever since we got a sidekick. We've been asking to be able to customize the sidekicks. Didn't happen just yet. The closest we got was, where do I have it here? Oh yeah. Like at some point they gave us the Lex Luthor sidekick over here. We thought that would be it. They would give us different sidekicks that we could use. But turns out that this is just a pet trinket that somehow they call the Lex Luthor sidekick. Doesn't have really anything to do with the actual sidekick we have in the game. They did give us some alternate sidekicks. I seem to recall there's one Bat Metal sidekick that you can get, but they didn't give us a lot of those. So sadly, we thought that at some point they would give us at least more options for the sidekick character that we can summon. Sadly, it didn't happen. And for ideally we wanted to be able to customize it. One suggestion, because we have at this point we have thousands of styles. Why not give us the option to use those styles on our sidekick? That didn't happen either. Is it because they don't have the tech to do it? Is it because they just don't want to do it? Is it because they don't cannot find a way to monetize it? Like I seeing the trend, the current trend, I wouldn't be surprised if they do something like with the tactical mods. Like the tactical mods, they give us some new mods that we have to buy from marketplace for $1 a piece. I wouldn't be surprised if they give us a new sidekick that we can purchase from the marketplace for $10. Who knows?
Yeah, they'll make it something purchasable for sure, because that's what they're doing with everything. I was kind of hoping that they'd do companions. I was hoping at one point the allies would be more like a companion, where they hung around with my character for a longer period of time, didn't just pop in and pop out.
Yeah,
No,
that's
no such luck with that.
that's what we thought too. If at least for the sidekick, like if they were to give us, let's say, a Robin sidekick for $10, I'm sure a lot of people would do the happy dance and be very happy to purchase a Robin sidekick for their character, or a Flash Kid Flash sidekick, Superboy, whatever. But then again, that would kind of fit into. It is something they could probably do as an ally as well. But they could make a distinction. Like allies could be characters like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and we could have maybe sidekicks that would be Robin, Superboy, and Wonder Girl. Maybe. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see what their plans actually are. But they did.
Hoping it kind of is similar to, like, Elder Scrolls just added the companions in, and now you can have, like, this adorable Khajiit go with you everywhere and kick people's butts. And that's the kind of thing I wouldn't mind having in here. So, but I doubt they're going to do it, to be honest. Unless it's purchasable, I don't think they're going to do much.
I don't care if they do it purchasable, assuming they give us something cool. Like give us a Robin sidekick. Yeah, I'll spend $10 to buy it. I'll spend $20 to buy it. But if they give us a I don't know, random sidekick, generic from whatever, nah, I won't. I don't want to get that. Although I assume if they give us some sidekicks on the marketplace that we have to pay $10 for, odds are they'll do, I don't know, 20% more damage, or they'll have some abilities that our regular sidekick doesn't have, just like they did with the mods. So
Yeah.
I guess people would buy it for that.
Rouse says DCUO should add and explore more power abilities like sound, rubber, etc. As far as movement, maybe they can add like a way you can swim underwater to travel through the sewers. I wouldn't mind that. But they're not going to do any of these things, I don't think.
Nah, they're not going to do that.
It's too much effort to put in and not enough gain for them.
Like we've already been told as much. For when it comes to new powers and new abilities, it's going to be like let's go here. Like for example, right now I have the Bird of Prey comlink device, and it gives us an ability called Bird Blitz. So it does give us a new ability for our loadout. That is pretty much how we are going to get new abilities pretty much from now on. They're going to make it part of an artifact. And it's going to give us a new ability for your loadout, but it will be linked to that artifact. So you will have to either spend money or at the very least spend resources to upgrade your artifact so that you can use the ability. But giving us just giving us like we did mention that for the iconic powers, like way back when we mentioned that they could easily add more iconic powers here that we could purchase for our characters, and they didn't do that. So instead, what they do is that they give us new artifacts that have new abilities built into them, and that seems to be the only way we're going to get some sort of new power or new power-like abilities.
I just want to say thank you to the little group of people hanging out with my character. We're having so much fun over there.
Oh, Tiny Wildfire says if that's the case, then give us 4 artifacts. That has been discussed at some point. They were thinking about giving us a 4th artifact slot, but the artifact would not give us any new stats. So basically, the 4th artifact, we would gain the abilities from the artifact, but we would not gain the stats that the artifact would give.
Sancho says, I was glad to be able to run some content today with Multi and Yasha. I don't know who Yasha is, but he enjoyed running with you. YT King says you need to go where it snows. Yeah, yes I do. At some point I need to go somewhere where there is snow. Because I want to see it! I've heard a lot of complaints about the snow from people who experience it on a regular basis because there's a whole bunch of precautions you have to take. But I wouldn't be that person. I just come and see it, enjoy it, and then leave, you know? So
Well, first it's cold, so you need better clothes. And also you need to build better houses. You need to build houses that are insulated. So like in
yeah.
maybe in some countries you can just live in a cardboard box and you'll be fine. If you live in a
Why are you
i-
saying?
if you live in a warm country, doesn't really matter. But sadly here you have to build the houses that are well insulated. Otherwise you're going to freeze during the winter. And of course there's shoveling the snow. You have to shovel the snow, but even worse, there's also the snow on the street. Sadly, very often the city don't do too good a job shoveling the snow or getting rid of the snow. So if you have to go, let's say, to the market, you're gonna have to drag your how'd you call that? You're gonna have to drag
What?
your push cart through the snow in order to reach the market because sadly sometimes they don't clean the sidewalks properly.
I mean, everyone heard that, right? Multi thinks I live in a cardboard box.
Of course, but
That's thoughtful.
our houses are insulated where you are.
Yes,
But
but probably not to the same extent as people who live around snow.
that's my point.
Yes. But I'm not living in a cardboard box, Multi. There's brick walls.
Come on, you could live in a cardboard box. I did survival training at minus 50 degrees, so you could do it.
Thanks. I don't know if I should be flattered that he has confidence in me or offended that he thinks I live in a box. Gaming with Landon says, I'm the Nightwing, I see you! Or I saw you. You're not there anymore where I was looking.
I was here
Or was
before. Maybe he's gone.
No, I can't see him anymore. I did see him. I saw him before. He looked great. You looked great. I don't know if he's still watching or not, but he looked great. It was a very good Nightwing. Sosa Da Vinci says Shorty in White got a nice mod. I don't know which one is Shorty in White, and I also don't know what you mean by mod. Do you mean the build? Multi! What does he mean?
No idea.
No idea either. Sorry! Abby Sue said, I haven't read any of the blogs. I would actually be curious if you just don't touch any of the blogs and then you go into the game and play, if you understand the entire storyline of what you're meant to do in the chapter without having read them. Because if it's necessary to read the blogs in order to understand and enjoy the gameplay, I don't like that. So I'm hoping that's not the case. I guess we'll see. Oh, and
Yeah,
then PM.
the blogs sadly don't seem to be a popular. The blogs don't seem to be a popular thing, and there even was a thread where people were talking about it, and they were pretty much calling it laughable. So
Yeah,
it's,
the
it's,
first one wasn't so bad. The second one has put me right off it. And now, if you've just said there's a third one that's been posted, please stop.
yeah, we'll go read it later.
Yeah, same. David Sharp said the static face piece you can still get in the Legion of Superheroes content. Is that what you were discussing before when you were doing the
Yes.
Omnipotence piece?
Yes, you can still get it. You have to talk to Static, then you have to go fight Cosmic Boy, I think, and then after you fight Cosmic Boy, you go see Static again, and then you can get the mask. And Cosmic Boy is not that difficult, so depending on which power you use, you might be able to solo him, or at least bring a friend or two if you don't want to be sure to be able to defeat him. But yeah, you can still get it. Oh, we have a nice Kid Flash over here, or Wally West.
Oh, yeah, someone just said that they're the Kid Flash. Hang on.
There it is.
I went past. I think I scrolled too far. Oh, Gaming with Landon. I'm that Kid Flash. Sosa Da Vinci says, I like Damian Wayne, only Robin that became Batman. I actually, he's my favorite of the Robins. I'm not a huge Robin fan, but yeah, out of them, I agree with you on that. No opinion there, Multi? I thought you were about to tear down my thoughts.
Nah, personally, I prefer Dick Grayson, but I understand that there is a certain following for Damian Wayne.
Yeah. Aiden says, the multiverse is inventory. Now we see it's messy. See? Messy!
It's always
I
messy.
don't like it. I have a little bit of OCD, only a little bit, and my inventory can't be messy like that. I would not be okay.
We see that every week. It's always messy.
I don't like it. I don't look. Normally I'm looking at the comments and on the gameplay screen, but because what you were looking up was something I didn't know about, I looked this time. I didn't like it, Multi. Almighty Foku says, I heard that sharks are afraid of approaching Australians. I don't think that's true. I think, if we smell like food, they're going to approach us. But we have, I don't know how many people have in other countries where you have, like, flags on your beach, and that's the section you need to swim between. So people stay in that area. It's an area that either sharks cannot or do not go to, so that we're safe when we go to the beach. I will say, though, Aussies tend to take quite a big risk when they go to the beach, because some of us will swim between the flags, and then you see others who are like, nah, screw it, they're not going to get me, and then off they go, swimming further out, and yeah, I don't know that we're afraid of them. We probably should be, but I really don't think that they're afraid of us. That would be nice, though.
Here we have our friend Shadow Knight, who was
Who told you that bull crap? Yeah, exactly, who told you that?
here we have our friend Shadow Knight, who was a nice-looking shadow type character.
He looks great.
We
You've
have
been dancing with me for a while. We're having a dance party, Multi. You're missing out. It's great over here.
That's all right. We have a Kingdom Come Superman over here. Oh, Abin Sir.
I'm getting a private message from Superman asking me when is the last time you saw a kangaroo live. I don't know. I don't leave my house very often, but I used to drive quite frequently past an area where they were always just in the paddock nearby, so, at least less than a year ago, but honestly, I could drive down a particular street and see them if I just went a particular direction. So they're maybe 2 suburbs away from me.
The real question...
They're quite common in the area I live in.
The real question is, when's the last time you ate one?
Oh, I've eaten kangaroo much more recently than I've seen one. That's probably a couple of months ago. Their steaks are really, really rich. They're tasty.
What about
People don't think we eat kangaroo. I'm not a liar. I'm not going to try and deceive you guys into believing the bullcrap that Australians try to make you believe. We do eat kangaroo. Drop bears are not real. Okay?
What about the kangaroo burger?
No, I just had steak.
Oh.
You can make your kangaroo burger. It's like having beef, but a much richer, stronger taste. So whatever you put with it, you want it to be strong enough to go with it, or at least not be very mild, because then you won't taste it. But with a mushroom sauce, it's nice. Scroll says, sidekicks should be able to do pickups if you fall in a mission. That would be cool. That would be interesting.
That would be a nice bit.
That would
Who
be
knows?
very nice.
Maybe they could add some new sidekicks in the marketplace to do that.
Maybe. I wonder if they will. I mean, they're going to add things that is going to make them money, and if people are interested in the sidekicks being a little bit more frequent in the game and able to do more, they're probably going to put effort into it, especially with that lovely vague producer's letter that they put out. Seems like they're going to address that anyway.
Well, we already have the Lazarus Pit that allows you to pick yourself up. So, yeah, I want to see... it wouldn't be too hard, I guess, to come up with a sidekick that can do that.
Yeah. I'm getting a lot of PMs, guys. If you want me to keep answering your questions out loud, you should probably do it so people can see the questions. But Tiny Wildfire was asking, does kangaroo taste like chicken? No. Tastes like beef. Strong beef. Fred says, Multi, do you like the Omega Totality Enhanced Heat Vision?
Not really. I kind of prefer the let me switch. I kind of prefer the I kind of prefer the classic one, because for the totality one, you have to cycle through your loadout a few times, and then you use the Omega Beam, as opposed to with the Heat Vision. Whenever you're ready, you just use it. You don't have to worry about using your powers like 10 times before you use the ability. But I understand why people like the Omega Beam so much, because the way it split the damage or doesn't split the damage, it does extra damage thanks to that. So yeah, if you want extra damage, then sure, go for the Omega Beam one. Personally, I'm kind of used to the heat vision one, so I kind of prefer that one.
I'm 100% with you on that. I just recently started playing around with the heat vision from the artifact, and honestly, I much prefer the heat vision with solar amplifier over it. I find this one takes too long to recharge, and also, I don't know if I was lagging, but does it last a long time but not do the same amount of damage output? It seemed to last too long. Like
Well,
I couldn't move. I'm stuck doing it for a long time.
yeah, but you have to upgrade it, and then you have to use. It depends on if you upgrade it to rank 200, and if you use 4, 6 abilities, then it lowers the time to from 8 seconds to 4 seconds. So if you just use it, you'll be stuck for 8 seconds. But if you use a whole bunch of powers, and if you have upgraded your artifact, then you'll be stuck only for 4 seconds.
Oh, that's probably why I haven't upgraded it all the way yet. I think I'm only like halfway.
But
Oh, my
ultimately,
dancing stopped.
you're stuck 4 seconds, or whether you like it or not. So basically, you have to use, let's say, 10 powers, and then you have to use it, and you get stuck for 4 seconds. So I find it a bit clunky to use. Could be that I just didn't
agree,
find.
yeah.
Could be I just didn't find the right loadout just yet. I'm gonna have to keep experimenting with that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that so far. I need to level it up before I have a full opinion, though, I think. Deshaun is not asking, rather just stating, they let us take legend or ally into alerts or raids for when we can't find players. I think they should let us do that too, or iconics. Take some
Yeah,
iconic character in.
yeah. The legendary allies, the first thing we suggested way back when. Let's go see our friend like Sluthor over here. Like way back when we had all those legendary allies that, yeah, we could use them in legend matches, whether it was PvP. At the time, it was only PvP matches, come to think of it. So way back when we could only use those for PvP matches. So people would suggest other ways to be able to use those legends, and one way was if we're missing people in a group, I why not fill the missing spots with a legendary character. And sadly, it never happened. The closest they did was to give us Legends PvE afterwards, and even then, the suggestion to allow us to be able to use those characters in a group, that never happened. And then eventually, even worse, they pretty much gave up on the whole Legends idea. I guess early on their idea was because early on it was pushing the idea of the next legend is you. They did not want us to recreate the Batman or Superman or the Flash as our character. But if you wanted to play as Batman, you had to purchase a Legend Batman. But sadly, the only place where you could play your Legend Batman was in PvP Arena. The same with Superman, the Flash, and all those Legend characters. So sadly, people didn't want to do that. So they pretty much gave up on that.
Sancho says if they do come out with a new power, what would it be? Oh, I can tell you, it will be the easiest one for them to create. That takes the least amount of time and gets the most return.
No,
So
it's not.
honestly, that probably is the Latin power.
It's not going to happen. Uh,
Oh no, I agree it's not going to happen, but if they did, it would be something easy. I think it would be Blue Lantern. They'd grab the green, change it to blue, and go, there you go, that's your new power.
they
But
would.
I don't think they're going to do that at all.
They would probably take something that was already worked on, that was given up at some
Yeah.
point. They would just finish it up, and they would probably give us that. For example, at some point they were working on a serum power. Yeah, I guess I could see them finishing that power and then giving it to us. The way they did with the Superman lair. Like basically, they didn't come up with the Superman lair from scratch. Ocean, from what I understand, had worked on I don't know 80% of the lair, and they just had to finalize it and put it on the marketplace. So if there is a power that is in such a state, then yeah, I could see them maybe give us an extra power. But as far as we can tell, we're not going to get new powers.
Oh, Shadow Knight says I'm the Shadow from the 1930s comics and the 1994 film.
Yeah,
So based off of something specific. Very cool.
Lamont Cranston.
Oh, I reached the bottom. Yay! Okay. Earl asks, is Prek still meta in the game? No.
Is what?
Prick.
Prick.
Precision.
Oh, um,
Did I say prick? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, guys.
that's all right. But right now the meta seems to be might, thanks to the Omega artifact and maybe something else I failed to mention. So, but precision is still up there.
You're getting messages, Multi. Is it from your AI friend?
Could be.
um, Aiden says your inventory is more messy than all of DCUO.
Right.
He has a little bit of a point.
That one surprised me. I'll concede the point.
Johnny Truth says Rue Jerky is good. You are correct, sir. See, we do eat Rue. We totally eat kangaroo. Are you Australian? Because only Australians call them Roos. And everyone else says kangaroo. Jason says we need an artifact for freeze breath. Oh, that would be nice. Then I wouldn't keep putting heat vision on my ice character, because honestly, I keep doing that.
Oh, they could just make it an iconic power because basically we have freeze breath and no, actually we have freeze vision. We already have freeze breath. Come to think of it, but
Yeah, we have it.
we have freeze vision from our friend Bizarro, and we have flame breath from our friend Bizarro. These could be iconic abilities that they could add into the game, but they're probably not going to do that. But it would be
Yeah,
nice.
I don't think they're adding a lot into the game. There's a lot of things that would be nice that I just think are never going to happen.
Yeah.
Almighty FoQ is asking, what role do you think the next artifact will be? That's a good question. I have no idea.
If I was a betting man, I'd say DPS. They seem to be going towards to focus on either DPS or they're trying to turn the roles into battle roles. Like we had an ability, an artifact for the battle trolls. We had an artifact for the battle healers. Even the last artifact, I think, was with battle tank in mind.
Yeah.
But if I was to take a guess, I'd say yeah, they'll probably go DPS.
I mean, they did all of the mods as DPS mods, so they seem to be heading that way with other things as well.
Because already for the artifacts, like they gave us basically the artifact that gave us the what's it called again? For the trolls, they gave us the brand of Hecate. I can't believe I forgot that. So, and that was basically an attempt to allow us to be able to do a bit of extra damage and be a bit of a battle troll. But people didn't like that very much.
Yeah, I must admit, I was. Oh, sorry. No, you're talking about battle troll. I was going to say battle tank. Never mind. I was going completely off topic then. Thomas is asking, how can I play with you? Basically, you need to come on when he does a live.
Yeah.
And you also have to be on the US server of PlayStation or PC as well.
Absolutely.
And his lives are pretty consistent. He does them live at 5 every Friday.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, you go.
Well, I'm toying with making more than one live per week. Maybe have a live on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm still not sure about that.
Johnny Truth said that it said Rue on the package. Okay, so Rue Jerky, a specific brand. Fair enough. That's basically, most Australians shorten everything. Everything that we say is shortened by some means, and so we don't usually say kangaroos. We will say there's a Rue. So, yeah. Jason said baby Roos are joeys. That is correct. They are called joeys. Is this just an education lesson? We're just going to learn about spiders and kangaroos today. Fencher said the game is damn near 2 decades old, so I highly doubt they have a lot of new stuff. They could if they wanted to put the effort into putting new stuff in the game. They just don't seem to want to put in effort. They want to, if they do put in effort, it seems to be on things they specifically think will gain them income. And they tend to put a large chunk of it in the marketplace. Oh my goodness, I'm like stumbling over my words.
That's
Multi,
all right.
you speak. I can't speak.
Well, the focus seems to be on what can bring in some money, and also they're trying to find new ways to bring in some money. So the mods were pretty much one of those examples. Selling the currency, that was another way to bring in some money without doing too much work. What
Yeah.
else? The Outsiders event. Basically, they added 10 new feats. If you didn't want to play the event for whatever reasons, it would cost 35 bucks, I think, to get the 10 feats. Or was it 10 feats or 10 skill points? Sorry. And
10 skill points.
so they seem to be trying to find new ways to bring in money without actually creating new assets, or they're trying to
Yeah.
create content again that doesn't require new assets or very little assets. Like for example, for Wonder Woman Day or Batman Day, they came up with one new asset, but everything else is pretty much built around reused assets or reused missions. So for Batman Day, they created one new Batman call. For Wonder Woman Day, they created a new pair of bracers. But everything else was missions we already had, and the random draws we could get in those missions were assets we already had in the game. Batman related assets in the case of Batman, Wonder Woman related assets in the case of Wonder Woman, but it still was already existing assets.
Yeah, I'm completely agree with everything Molly just said. Jason says, "I wish I could get in on the voice conversation." Yeah, having a large group of people in a voice chat when we're trying to do a live is really bad. Particularly, I have lag when I try to speak. I often don't hear other people speak until after I've started speaking, so it kind of messes it up. So if other people start joining, it ends up a big mess. And really, whoever is in the voice chat and whoever joins the group is all up to Multi. So I'm very glad I don't have to make those decisions.
Well, already just with the two of us, sometimes we step over each other, and it's even
Yeah.
worse when we have Johnny, who's a chatterbox. So already, like when there's me, Shadow, and Johnny, already that's one too many. So we try to make it so that it's not too painful to listen to us talk, because otherwise we'd keep on stumbling over each other.
Absolutely. We do it now.
Yes.
Abby Sue says, when DC dies, a part of me will too. I kind of understand that. I
Uh,
love this game, and it's making me sad at the moment.
I understand. Sadly, I have bad news. Bad news. Someday, DC Universe Online will die. It's sad, but it will happen. Now,
Why
hopefully,
would you tell us that?
hopefully it will be in 53 years. But the truth is, we don't know. Is DC going to last 5 more years? Maybe, maybe not. Is DC going to last 10 more years? Maybe, maybe not. Uh, the last time we got any sort of timeline when it came to DC Universe Online was when we got the House of Legends. From what we understood at the time, they had pretty much a 10-year plan for DC Universe Online, and we're about halfway there. We pretty much have the halfway point. If they did have a 10-year plan, we're pretty much at the halfway point of that 10-year plan. But even then, all the people that were part of that 10-year plan are gone by now. So that pretty much went out the window. So at this point, we have pretty much a new crop of devs. Let's assume the 10-year plan is still a thing. Well, we still have roughly 5 years left with DCUO. But depending on what the new devs are planning, I'm hoping that they're trying to find ways to attract more people to the game. I'm not sure if they're going to be successful with their current strategy, but the game plan seems to be to try to bring in more people into the game and also to keep those people into the game. One of the things we know from some of the investors meeting is that when there's a new DLC, a lot of people come back, they play for a bit, and then they leave. And then when we get a new event or a new DLC, then people come back, they play for a bit, then they leave. I assume the event thingy is to try to keep people playing. So here, I assume what they're hoping for is that previously what people would do is that when we would get let's say the Anti-Monitor event, they would come for, I don't know, 1 week, they would replay the content, purchase the rewards they wanted, and then they would leave until the next event. In this case, they pretty much have to come back every day, at least for 20 days. So if I was to take a guess, I would say that progress thingy is to try to keep people coming back every day into the game. Now, is it working? I don't know. Uh, assuming people are interested in those rewards, then yeah, maybe it is working. But then again, if you like, let's take if you don't care about the Hammer Smash emote, or if you don't care about the emotes at all, you're not going to come back for that. Uh, for the 400 quarks, yeah, that's a nice bonus to have. But if you open the time capsule regularly, yeah, an extra 400 quarks is nice. But basically, that represents what 40 time capsule? Yeah, I suppose. And the mods, I guess the mods would be, but basically the mods are $1 each. So it's we're talking about a $10 value.
And the quarks also, if you have a membership, you can go to Fate and grab 150 quarks for one, is it Destiny or Fate token? The gold token. You can get 150 of those anyway. The only thing really from that that's appealing to me is the emote, but that's because I have a Harley character. Anyone who doesn't, I don't know that they're going to be really interested in this. I don't know.
And even then, also, if you want to bypass that, just buy it out. So if you just buy it out, it kind of defeats the idea that people will stick around for 20 days. But it will put money in their pockets.
I do think it is nice, though, that it decreases in the price as people play through, because it means if someone tries to play all the way through and they get, 19 out of 20 done, 18 out of 20 done, and they're right on the last day and they can't play the rest, they can still put money in and purchase those last two just so it's completed. I kind of like that because sometimes life happens and people can't get the stuff done that they need to, so that part of it, I don't mind, because if life happens, you'll be able to get this completed regardless. But only if you're willing to pay.
Sure, it's just that it kind of if the goal is to keep people playing for 20 days, having the buyout option pretty much defeats that.
It's
But
not. The goal is to earn as much money as possible.
yeah, sadly, yes, that seems to be the main goal. So
Yeah.
the main focus seems to be on bringing in as much money as possible, and I guess they have a secondary focus further down the line, which is to keep people playing. But
Yeah.
keeping people playing seems to be not as much a priority as bringing in money.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Sancho says, plus people be talking over each other, but you'll take turns talking with how it should be. We do try. Both of us try to make sure both of us get to speak. You can hear Multi sometimes say to me, what think you, Shadow Lady? And I will say, I will either shut up or I'll say, Multi, you speak, because otherwise we end up talking over each other. If there's questions that are specifically for Multi as well, I try to make sure he's the one who gets to answer and not me, because people want to know what Multi has to say. This is his channel, not mine. So I think you and I do a pretty good job of making sure we don't talk over each other the best we can.
We do what we can, but sadly, sometimes it happens.
Yeah, he's blaming me there, you can tell, right?
Always.
Yeah. Jason says, I would say always make a limit of how many can join so that the question is not always asked, because I'm sure others would want to talk. Yeah, see, I think if he starts inviting a large group of people or letting people in who are from the group who are running with him, he's likely to have people who are going to talk over the top and also maybe talk too much where he's not able to get the information out that he wants to. And you never know what kind of person you're going to get in there as well. Like, Multi knows me well enough that he knows I'm not going to do anything stupid on his life, hopefully, but he doesn't know other people. So it's a slippery slope, because if something happens on his channel, it's his fault and it's his problem. So I think, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, Multi, but I think Multi really needs to know who he's letting into the chat to make sure he's just careful about keeping the content of his channel something it needs to be and not crossing any lines that he shouldn't.
Yeah, inviting new people is always a concern. But again, at the end of the day, if there's too many people, it's counterproductive.
Yeah.
So
And people come to hear you anyway. Sancho says 2030 will probably be the year they shut it down, and we might get a new DC game. Why is everybody talking about the game going, guys? No.
um,
That's too soon.
I guess it could be possible that they shut down in 2030. As for getting a new DC game, though, I'm not so sure about that, because they did try to give us a new DC game, which is Suicide Squad versus the Justice League, and that was a disaster. So I know it seems easy to come up with a new game or a better game, but it's not that easy because no one can do it. Like right now, we do have Marvel Rivals that seems to be enjoying a pretty high level of success. But you never know. In like already when they announced some of the monetization they had for the game, already some people are not too happy about that. Also, they mentioned some new content, and already some people they've just added the Fantastic Four to the game, but they've only added Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Girl. So some people were wondering why did they not add the Human Torch and the Thing. I can't answer that because I don't know the answer. But already you could see that some people were disappointed by that. So right now Marvel Rivals is brand new and it's a pretty awesome game. But slowly but surely there are people who let's say are going to be less and less happy about the game at some point.
Yeah, I just hope if and when let's be honest, when DC dies, that something is left for me to play. That all the effort and stuff I put in, like just let all the levels that currently exist be there. Maybe the events are gone and things like that. But I would like something to be left at the end. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but that's what I would like. And
But
I
the,
really hate thinking about it being gone because I love this game.
but the problem is that a game like DC is sadly not easy to make. And
I know.
the fact that we have DC Universal Online already is nothing short of a small miracle. And because if it was that easy, Marvel already would have a game like that. Valiant would have a game like that. Dark Horse would have a game like that with I don't know Hellboy and all their characters. So the fact that we do have DC Universal Online is a small miracle at this point. Because sadly, when Marvel gave us an MMO, they gave us Marvel Heroes, which was Diablo with superheroes. And already before the game was even released, it was already dated or outdated, I could say. Yeah, you had to wonder what they were thinking, and obviously they wanted to create a game for cheap, and they did not really want to invest what was needed to create a game like DCUO. So they tried to go for a cheaper option, which gave us Marvel Heroes, which meant basically taking Diablo and turning it into a superhero game. And the people who basically made the Marvel Heroes were devs for Diablo, and not even Diablo 2, which was the best Diablo of the bunch. And they went all the way back to Diablo 1, sadly, with that game. So and then later on, when they tried to make another MMO, and there's two other MMOs we heard about. There's one that was supposed to be made by some of the people at Daybreak, and it kind of looked like they were trying to make something kind of like a Fortnite, or some people were saying that they were trying to sort of recreate the style of the Miles Morales Spider-Man movie. But there was also another game that we had heard about that had much more realistic characters. But in either case, it didn't happen. So, and of course, there was Marvel's Avengers. That was a disaster. It wasn't quite a game like DCO, but still, they were not even able to pull off a game like that with just four-player teams. So imagine me coming up with a full MMO with all the more characters. And that seems to be either studios just cannot do it for some reason, or they don't want to invest what's needed. They don't want to invest the money needed to do it. They don't want to invest the time needed to do it. So at the end of the day, there doesn't seem to be anyone either able or willing to make that kind of game. So I know that some people seems to think that let's have DC Universe Online disappear and someone else will grab the license and make a better version of DC Universe Online. We don't know about that. Odds are, if DC Universe Online disappears, no one will grab the license. Or odds are, whoever grabs the license, they'll produce a crappy game like Marvel Heroes. We don't know that. In theory, it would make sense that a new version of DCO with a new engine would be a better option. But like, look at the Overwatch. They Overwatch or Destiny. Like they changed Overwatch for Overwatch 2. And sadly, it wasn't the improvement that people were hoping for. Even with Destiny, when they switched from Destiny to Destiny 2, I have to admit, that's pretty much when I stopped playing Destiny, because the idea of having I started playing Destiny 2 for a bit, but the idea of having to grind again for the gear of my character that I already grinded in the first Destiny, having to try to get the legendary weapons again, the legendary armors, and I couldn't do it a second time. So. So yeah, maybe a new DC Universe Online game could be better, but odds are it probably wouldn't be.
There's no way they're going to top the movement in this game.
The
There's no way.
movement, the powers, the way you can customize your character, and
Yeah,
also
there's no way.
let's assume they do make a DC Universe Online 2. Like if we wrong tab, like all the styles that we've gathered over the years. odds are that would be lost. Like basically with Destiny, when we did switch from Destiny to Destiny 2, we lost everything we had gathered on Destiny 1. So the idea of losing all those styles, unless we could somehow import those styles into DC Universe Online 2, I don't want to do that. The same for like if we look at uh, like just all the auras, like 61 pages of auras. Even the accessories, like we don't have that many accessories, and already we have 19 pages of accessories. Or I won't even mention the materials. I swear I won't mention them. But again, we gathered so many materials over the years that just the idea of starting over with DC Universe Online 2, I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah, same. I don't want to think about this one disappearing ever. YT King says, yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Sancho says, facts, you never know who you're dealing with. Avisu says, I couldn't be on the mic because I cussed too much. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's working, and yeah, you never know. You never know. Even if someone is absolutely lovely to you outside of a live, once they're in a live, that is public. So I would hate for Multi to have someone in his live who says something, and then his live is a little bit bust. So yeah, I think it's smart to be careful about who he puts into the chat. Jason says Multiverse is someone I respect because he puts out the correct information to the game. Absolutely true. That's one of the reasons I watch Multi, is because he's accurate, and also he expresses his opinion like honestly, which I think is really nice. Everyone who comes here is here to hear what Multiverse thinks and has to say about the game. So
Come on, everyone should know by now I'm Michelle. Come on.
Sancho says Suicide Squad was buns? What is buns?
No idea.
Me either. It's got a skull face. I feel like it's a negative thing.
Well, it was a missed. It was a failure on multiple levels. To begin with, basically they wanted to create a shooter, and they just used the Suicide Squad and the Justice League. They like if they had really wanted to make a Suicide Squad game, Captain Boomerang would have been using his boomerangs. Harley Quinn would have been using a hammer. Uh, King Shark would not have been using weapons. But they what they really wanted to do was make a shooter game, and they just
and then try
they,
to
they
get
just
people to buy it.
and they just added a Suicide Squad skin over on top of that because it made no sense for Captain Boomerang or for King Shark. I guess Harley Quinn could have used a whole bunch of guns, but King Shark really what does he need guns for? Boomerang should be using his trusted boomerangs. He shouldn't be using guns. So they did not really have the intent was not really have to make a Suicide Squad or even a Justice League game. It was just to make a shooter, and they needed a skin on top of that, and that's what they selected. And also, there was a whole bunch of really bad ideas that came on top of that. Like already, why have the Suicide Squad kill the Justice League? Like if you have to wonder why make a Suicide Squad. Well, why make a Suicide Squad game when you did not even make a Justice League game just yet? Like, if they had made a Justice League game and then this was the follow up, Suicide Squad versus the Justice League, yeah, okay, maybe. But the first time they give us the Justice League in a game, and basically the intent is for them to be punching bags to be killed by the Suicide Squad, really? It's almost as if in a roundabout ways, it kind of shows you how the people in charge of DC have so little respect for those characters, and you could even go one step further and pretty much think that they seem to really hate those characters, and we can see it here. Like instead of having us play Superman, having us play the Flash, having us play the characters we love, they had the Suicide Squad beat the snot out of those characters and kill them in a not so gracious way. Not to mention when they took a leak on one of our favorite characters, or the way Batman was just shot in the face. Like you could almost tell you could almost see the venom drip from that game about how much they seem to have hated the Justice League.
Yeah, it's not a game I ever really intend to play, but I will say it's now free to my library with my PlayStation Plus account, so maybe I'll play it to have a look. But it seems awful to me from an outside view, from someone who hasn't actually played. Superman is asking, question for Shadow, are we still up for tomorrow? Just making sure. Yes, we are. Yes, we are, dude. No problem.
What are we up for?
So tomorrow he and I are going to be doing a couple of collabs. They may not come out tomorrow, but we are recording them tomorrow, and he's just
Oh,
double checking with me. I'll contact you and let you know, because he has a channel also.
oh, I see.
And
Okay.
he was sitting next to me. Oh, he's over here. He's over here chilling with me. A lot of people are chilling with me. Interested. I'm really happy that people like hanging out with my character, because they're like far away from being on the live, but they're still willing to come and sit with me, which is really nice. And now Multiverse. Multiverse comes back. Yep. Did you feel bad, Multi? We
I
were
felt,
dancing before, it was so good.
yeah, I saw that.
Yep. Sancho has said, I'm just thinking about all the money that I put into this game when it finally shuts down. And the time, yeah, all of the time, all of the money, all of the effort, and then it's gone. That's why I would like there to be something left. I don't care if it's like kind of sucky, or if it stops being an MMO or something, but just something so my characters aren't gone, because I love them.
Well, it would be nice if they could leave it like a single player option that you can play by yourself, so that even if the game is gone,
Yeah.
you could still manage to play it. I don't think that's gonna
Yeah, and have a
happen.
bit of fun. Neither
Sadly,
do I, but I want it to.
sadly, the experience we have with most MMOs so far is that when they shut down, they shut down. I guess the money you've invested in DCUO, sadly you're not really buying DCUO. You're just renting it until it goes down. So you
Yeah, it's investing
basically
in it for a temporary period. It's like renting.
so basically you're renting the game and you're paying just to keep the servers going so that you can keep on playing.
Yep.
But one day, sadly, it's going to be gone.
EP says, Marvel don't give an F about an MMO. The style is dead in 2025.
Well, they did try.
Yeah.
There was a few attempts made. I should probably make a video about that. I'll probably make a video about that
Yeah.
in my Multiverse 616 channel where I cover Marvel stuff. But basically, they did try one time. They had some pretty cool design. I saw some pretty cool looking version of Captain America. It wasn't exactly the classic costumes, but it was close enough. There was some pretty cool version of the Red Skull, and but sadly that first attempt went nowhere. And then there was another attempt with again with Daybreak. But in that case, they were trying to almost design the game to kind of look a bit like Fortnite or again like the Miles Morales Spider-Man movie or somewhere in between. So they were trying to make it a bit more more current or following the current trend. And sadly, that didn't go anywhere either. So
I
if
was
they
really looking forward to a game coming out for Marvel, and then it was
well,
gone, and I was so sad.
I was until we saw some of the visuals for that game, and when I saw the visuals, I thought, okay, maybe it's not a bad thing that we didn't get that game. But now we have Marvel Rivals, which seems to be a hit. Who knows? Maybe down the line they'll add a PVE option. So we'll see. But even if they were to add a PVE option, I'm pretty sure they'll never add an option like DCO where you can literally customize your character to look the way you want. So I understand that some people saw Marvel Rivals as the game that will kill DCUO. If anything, Marvel Rivals will kill Overwatch. Not it has nothing to do with DCUO. If you're playing a PVE on DCUO, you're not going to go play Marvel Rivals. If you like to play your own characters in DCUO, like our friend Gimalam over here, like if you want to create Gimalam in Marvel Rivals, that doesn't happen. So if this is what you want, you're not going to find that in Marvel Rivals. So and I know some people seems to think that everyone that plays DCO plays PvP. It couldn't be further from the truth. When DCO was at its in its prime, and when PvP when it was in its prime, at most there was 20% of the player base that played PvP, and that even includes people who tried PvP once and never played PvP again. So at the very most, there was 20% of the player base that played PvP, and right now there's probably a fraction of that. I'd say 5%, but the truth is we don't really have a number. But the one time where we're given numbers was 20%, and sadly at this point it's pretty safe to say that there's not even that much playing PvP right now. So I understand that people who love PvP they want PvP back in DCO. and they assume that everyone wants PvP, but that's not the case. Sadly, the lion's share of the player base that plays DCO right now are playing for the PvE aspect of the game. So most of those, if not none of those, would leave DCO to go play Marvel Rivals because Marvel
If I was
Rivals,
gonna leave DC, I would go straight over to Elder Scrolls.
yeah, that exactly.
Not even DC content. Yeah.
Assuming people leave DC for for whatever reasons, yeah, they'll leave probably for Elder Scrolls, for which other MMO is there?
Neverwinter.
Neverwinter, for Throne Liberty. And there was another one also, and even like Throne and Liberty. I know a lot of people. At some point, some people were saying that they were leaving DCUO to go play Throne and Liberty, but it lost at this in like a month. It lost 90% of its audience. So yes, it was a brand new game. It looked like a shiny brand new toy, but after a few weeks, after a month, a lot of people realized that maybe they shouldn't play that game.
How come? Do you know? Because that's on my list of ones to play.
Well, the only thing I saw for myself is that the combat was a bit clunky. I was struggling a bit with the controls. Like if we play on PC, I guess it's another thing because on PC you don't have the same controls as on PlayStation 5. But on PlayStation 5, I did find the controls a bit clunky. Uh, and I assume it could be maybe the game is fun at first, the first week or two, and then once you reach end game, maybe it's not so fun. Maybe there's less content. I can't say exactly why, but when you look at the numbers, basically in roughly a month, they lost about 90% of their audience. But they're not alone. Like there's also the First Descendant that had a similar pattern. A lot of people want to play First Descendant at first, but again after a while, they had pretty much lost 90% of their audience.
Good to know. Maybe I will not try that game after all.
No, it's free. Try it. There's no reason not.
It's free. All right, I will try.
There's no reason not to try it.
Sweet. Firkin is asking, what's the best league in Heroes?
I have no idea. I don't know a lot of leagues. I would say the best league is the Alliance. Let's say that. Like the league over here, the Alliance. Send a tell to our friend Superman and tell him to invite you to their league. I don't know if he's going to do it, but
Jason says, I give the game another 20 years after that. It's questionable because there's still so many stories not being told and styles not being dropped. 20 years, no, I don't want the game to end, but honestly, I think 20 years is generous.
Well, it's not a matter of stories being told or not. It's a matter of the license. Up until when do they have the license?
Yeah.
Because there's two things that could happen. Basically, if DCUO brings in a lot of money, like right now, DC Universe Online seems to bring a lot of money despite everything. Thanks to the time capsule, thanks to the booster bundle, and probably thanks to some of their strategies, selling currencies, and probably selling the mods. So they seem to be making. Any way you slice it, they make money with DC Universe Online. Now, is it enough for them to like? But they probably also have to pay a fee for the license. So is the money they're making enough to pay for the license and then to have a lot of money left over? We don't know. And also we already know that some of that money not really invested in DC Universe Online. They're investing it in some other game. The name escapes me right now. But sadly, they're at the end of the day, they're pretty much using whatever profit they make with DCO to finance some of their own IP that they own. It's sad, but what can you do? But at the end of the day, it's a matter of until when do they have the license? Do they still make money with DC Universe Online? As long as they have the license and they make money, yeah, they'll probably keep DC Universe Online around. And the thing is, once the license expire, will someone else purchase a license and make a game? And even assuming, let's say the DC Universe Online shuts down tomorrow. Let's assume that somebody tomorrow purchases a license. It takes 5 years to make a game like DCUO, maybe a bit more. Like there's games like Suicide Squad versus the Justice League took 8-9 years to produce. Games like Dragon Age: The Veilguard that took like 8-9 years to produce. So producing a game takes a long time. So even assuming that someone tomorrow gets the license from DCUO, It'll take them 8, 9 years to come up with the next game. So it's a lose-lose scenario either way. So ideally, hopefully, this Universe Online will last forever. But we obviously we have to prepare ourselves to the fact that at some point, yeah, this Universe Online will shut down. There's nothing we can do about that. All we can do is that we can enjoy it right now for what it is, and enjoy it now while
Not
it's
thinking
there.
about the future.
Yeah, enjoy it now while it's there because tomorrow once it's gone, it's too late. And it's
Yeah.
something that's true. It's something that's true in life in a lot of things. Like nothing lasts forever, so you have to enjoy it right now while you can. And I learned that lesson way back when I was a young lad. I was buying the Incredible Hulk. It was drawn masterfully by Sal Buscema. I forget who Bill Mantlo was the writer, and holy crap, was it a good run of the Hulk. Sadly, one day the run ended, and that was the end of that era. So
Mm.
and then later on, but then it teaches you to appreciate stuff while you have it. So later on, when we did get the Hulk by Dale Keown and Peter David, I was able to savor every moment with that run because I knew that sooner or later that run would be gone. I didn't expect it to be gone with issue 388 or something, but I knew it would happen. So the same with DCUO. We know that this someday this Universe Online will be gone. Now, personally, I won't have any regret because I've been playing this game a lot in the past 12 years, 13 years, 14, nah, no, it's been a while. Anyway, I've been playing this game a lot, and also I have thousands and thousands of videos at this point. So let's assume that the game shuts down tomorrow. Well, I will be able to go back and rewatch some of my older videos and in a roundabout ways, still enjoy this Universe Online. But I've played this Universe Online enough that yeah, I'll be sad, but I did enjoy it quite a lot for a long time, so it's okay. Like there was this
I
drink,
feel the same. I don't think I'll regret even if it does disappear. I have enjoyed this game. It's been really fun and happy for me. So.
like there was this drink I used to enjoy called Full Throttle. I loved that drink, so I enjoyed it while it was there, and then one day sadly it was gone. So I could have been sad that it was gone, but I did enjoy it while it was there, so I'm okay.
Just like me with the original mother. That was my favorite drink and it disappeared. Mind you, that's probably a good thing. I think people died drinking that thing. Anyway, Sancho says this game is truly one of a kind, still up and running after 15 years later. It's true. It is
Yes,
one of a kind.
absolutely. Yeah.
Zami said, oh, you go, 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 go.
Well, then I see people who still think that who sometimes will say something like, this is nothing special. And when we mention, well, you can fly in this universe online, well, then they'll mention some other game like Anthem where you could fly. But yeah, you could fly in Anthem, but the flying was really, really clunky. Or you could fly in Marvel's Avengers. Again, very clunky flying. So
Yeah.
no other game could you fly the way you can in this universe online. But also the way you can customize your character. You cannot customize your character this way in a lot of games. A lot of games, you equip a set of armor. That's what your character looks like.
Yeah.
And a lot of games, your options to be able to customize your character are very limited. Or in some cases, like Marvel Rivals, I love that game, but sadly, you get one skin you equip one skin on your character, and that's it. You cannot change the gloves, you cannot change the mask, you cannot change the back piece, or it is only one skin for your character. Now you have a selection of multiple skins at some point, but still you cannot customize your character the way you can in Disorders Online. So uh, all those little things, yeah, maybe there are little things that DC Universe Online does that some other games do, but first they don't do it as well at DC Universe Online, and also there's no other games that does all of it. Like yes, in some games you can fly, but not all of those games. I don't think there's a lot of games where you can run at super speed. I don't think you can do that in other games, but I could be wrong. Customize your character, you can do that in some other games, but again, I'm pretty sure you cannot fly in those other games. So yeah, there are a lot of things that maybe you will find one aspect in other games, but all those aspects put together is what makes this Universe Online special. I could be wrong. What says you, Shadow Lady?
No, I completely agree with you. I think that the movement in this game and the style aspect of this game are two of the things that are kind of unmatched on any other console. The fact that you can style your character so well is kind of awesome. And there's no game where the movement is this smooth for all of the movements. And the fact that it doesn't have full damage is very, very nice also. And the way you interact with the environment is... nothing is blocking your way. You know how when you play a game, there's a car that marks that's the border. You can't go past that car, but in reality, you would, like, in here, be able to run over it, climb over it, move over things. In this game, you can move over everything, and I love that.
Oh yeah.
And in other games, you can't, and weird things are blocks to the end of your map, and I really love the way this game is designed in that way. And
Well,
the styling is beautiful.
that thing ruined Star Wars: The Old Republic for me. Like I tried to play Star Wars: The Old Republic, and then I had this little boulder in front of my character that I couldn't get over. That boulder, I had to go around it.
Yeah.
I hated that. Like once you get used to DC Universe Online, once you get used to DC and you can move over obstacles, and then you play another game where you get stuck in obstacles all the time, that got really
Not
annoying
good.
real fast.
Agreed, yeah.
So we're gonna
I just realized
yes.
Cersei Weaver had, you know how earlier someone was asking about the ice crown? I just saw, it's not there anymore, but Cersei Weaver had over their head the source crown. Is that maybe what they were asking about? That's from Patchwork Themyscira, right? But anyone who was asking about that crown, if it was that one, that's from Patchwork.
We'll never
I
know.
just realized. Sorry, they might not even still be here. I'm
That's
off
all
on a
right.
tangent now. I'll go back to the chat.
No, we're gonna have to cut it short. I have to.
Oh, Multi needs to go?
Yeah, I need to go take care of my little doggo.
No
I have a little doggo
worries.
who needs attention, so I have to go right now.
Sorry, guys.
That's okay because we're way past this.
You have your puppy.
I gave him a bit of food earlier. Normally we eat around 5:30, 6. So I gave him a bit of food before we're going live, but now he needs more.
No problem. Thank you for having me, Multi.
You're welcome. So anything you want to plug before we go?
I'm that girl from AU everywhere except on X, that girl from AU underscore. If people are interested in my content, come across and have some fun, and if you're not, I understand. And thank you, this was fun.
So guys, thank you for coming to play with us. Thanks to those of you who watch the stream. Thanks to those of you who came to chat with us. You guys are awesome. So I'll wish you guys a good weekend. Next week we'll probably just play. Well, we might play the anniversary event again, unless there's something special that starts next week. We're gonna have to wait and see for that. So guys, thanks you for being here tonight. Thank you for being here tonight, and have a good weekend. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye bye, guys.